Good morning, everyone. Welcome into another edition of the Green and White Report on WDBM East Lansing. I'm Zach Surdenik, your host on this Super Bowl Sunday. Don't worry, we've got an entire Super Bowl breakdown coming in the second hour of the show, but the first hour, we're going to talk about some other things and get to it as we move along. To my left today, moving things over. He was normally on the right. He's getting a change of scenery. On my left today is Mr. Matt Merrifield.
I'm filling in the A.J. Evans seat this afternoon, and I get a nice view of the TV. I might have to discuss with A.J. of switching my seat. The seating chart in the studio is BS. I should be sitting on this side. Sorry, A.J.
AJ's not even here to defend it, but it's Super Bowl Sunday, so you know that Jack David has to be here the whole time.
The entire show, yeah, right. So, feelings are high, exciting for the game tonight. I think it might be one of the biggest Super Bowls ever, at least like TV-wise. So
really,
yeah.
Isn't every year the biggest? Like, I feel like every year it just gets bigger.
Because the NFL is getting bigger and bigger every year, but there'll be a certain megastar in attendance. So I think it's.
Is the NFL a bubble? Like, is like the .com bubble? Is it just going to burst at some point?
I hope not. It could be though.
I don't think so.
Well, you speak of Taylor Swift. We have some prime Taylor Swift content coming via the Merrifield Sportsbook.
That's exactly what I wanted to hear, Matt. I love it.
There's no timestamps on the show sheet, but at some point, segment number 4, I think it says, or 5, so make sure to tune in.
It is number 4.
Nick Burt
the props.
Put in some great work on this gambling prop bet sheet. So.
It might even be segment number 3. We're going to see how the time works. The second hour of the show is devoted to Super Bowl talk, Super Bowl props. We're going to go through some of our favorite Super Bowl memories and then break down the game and give some predictions. And also joining us today, I don't think there's a camera on him, so if you're on Twitch, you're just going to have to imagine what he looks like over there. But the man, the myth, the legend, Joe Dez, on the mic for us today, joining us as a producer and a co-host.
Yeah, how are you guys doing? Pretty excited for today. The voice is mostly gone from last night still. It's rough. Not fun.
Yes, our birthday boy.
A late happy birthday shout out to Joe Dez. And now he's got to go call a game at 4 o'clock, so he might have to rest up his voice. We'll see how much talking he does today because he's got a big one between the Spartans and the Buckeyes at the Breslin Center. We'll get into that in just a minute. But just what a weekend overall for Michigan State athletics. Pretty much everybody won. I mean, softball lost.
Yeah,
in Florida.
Yeah, they lost twice.
They hung in there with a top 15 Arkansas team. They lost 6-5, had the tying run on base in the top of the 7th. But tennis is 9-0. Men's tennis team rolling on. Aristotelis Thanos, one of the best names ever. I was talking to the tennis SID this week. Shout out Max, and he was telling me about Thanos' name and what it translates to. First, let me see if you guys can guess kind of what it translates to. It's Greek.
Oh, are we talking about Thanos?
Yes.
Oh, God, I don't know.
So what does that translate to?
So it's
inevitability.
Purple.
Goodness, no. So Aristotelis is Aristotle, and Thanos means death.
So
his name is Aristotle Death.
That's
electric.
That's electric, yeah.
But MSU beat Clemson this week to move to 9-0 on the season for just second time in program history. Men's tennis team continuing to kill it. Go check them out at some point. There was a good crowd there on, I think it was Friday night that they played. They had some free pizza and a good amount of people there.
Yeah, there's a good buzz around this team.
Yeah, it's cool to see some of these non-revenue sports creating a lot of buzz. Gymnastics has been killing it. They're
probably
number
the
10
best
in the country.
team on campus.
Maybe. I mean, the hockey team.
Hockey team's really good.
We'll
too,
talk about as well. Yeah. But the gymnastics team knocked off Illinois this week, put up a 197-475, I think, at home against the Illini. They're number 10 in the country. They look in prime position to more than likely repeat as Big Ten regular season champions. Last year they split that title with Michigan, but this year they already beat Michigan again. First time they beat Michigan in Ann Arbor since 1990. They're on one right now.
Really are.
They brought everybody back and added some more talented freshmen. They're playing really well. But let's move to this women's basketball team, and we're going to bring in Joe Dez to talk about this a little bit. But the loss on Thursday at Indiana, this team has continued to be so close, but unable to get it done.
Yeah, well, every time it's been a star player who was ruined at the end for MSU. They were up 10 points at halftime. Both teams were shooting the lights out. It was 71% from the field for both teams at halftime. First quarter, it was almost 8 for 8.
71% from the field at halftime for both teams?
Both
That's
teams.
crazy.
The craziest thing to watch. The first
I mean, I knew
half.
it was high scoring, but I didn't realize they both shot 71%.
Dude, it went for a 5-minute span, genuinely 3 on one side, 3 on the other side, 3 on one side, 3 on the other side. It was crazy.
My goodness.
Yeah, but it just came down to the end. They just had they had more star power at the end. They could have open shots. For some reason, the mid-range was wide open every single shot in the last 2 to 3 minutes. They were trying to really shut down the 3 in the paint, and they just really utilized the mid-range to end it.
How much of that comes from the way that Indiana plays overall? Like, they are a team that has a lot of talent, but at the same time, like, they've got star power in a big way. I mean, when you look at, in particular,
Mackenzie
you got to
Holmes.
look at Mackenzie Holmes. And with the way Mackenzie Holmes plays down low, that opens up everything. And then Sarah Scalia is really good. And I don't think a lot of people are talking about Sarah Scalia or have been. She came into East Lansing a few years ago with Minnesota and lit the Spartans up for 31. She was pulling from the logo. Unreal range from Sarah Scalia. And so that Indiana team's good, and this Ohio State team that they play today is really good.
Yeah, this one's going to be rough. The Spartans are going to hang with them till the end. They've done it with every top-tier competition they've had so far. Against Iowa, it took a last-second step-back logo 3 from Caitlin Clark to win it.
Yeah.
I think I feel pretty comfortable with it. It's going to be a fun game no matter what. Spartans need to win one ranked match at some point here, so might be today, might not.
They do, but this team, when you're looking tournament resume, everything you want, they've got it. They have a top 20 net. They are 17-6 on the season. They've been able to consistently find a way to get things done, and they're 11-1 at home, which is definitely going to help. The only loss they have was in their first Big Ten game of the season to Nebraska, and that's the only home game that they've lost this year.
Yeah, I mean, they've been playing really well, obviously. Coach Froehlich's done an incredible job taking over what was a very talented group last year, but just kind of couldn't put it all together and make things happen, lost a lot of close games. And, I mean, they're still losing close games, but this is to the elite teams in the conference. The lesser teams are taking care of business, getting stuff done on the road. Obviously, that one stinker at Minnesota, but other than that, they've been playing really well. And, I mean, it's just an exciting brand of basketball, which is probably the best part.
Yeah, I got to talk about Julia Ayeralt, too. Started off the game 7 of 7 from the field. She was perfect. 3 of 3. She started off 4 of 4 from behind the arc. Last game against Minnesota, started off 3 of 3. And then against Indiana, 4 of 4 to start from behind the arc. 3-ball has been insane. And then she did do a really good job of defending Mackenzie Holmes for the first half. Just the second half, Holmes just started going off.
Yeah, I mean, you can only hope to contain a player like Mackenzie Holmes. You're not going to necessarily stop her. But this Ohio State team, looking at today, they are 19-3. They've won a ton in a row. I believe they're up to number 5 in the country. And it's going to be a very tall task to stop this team from the Buckeyes. They got better from last year's team that made a tournament run, and now they're looking to make another one this year. Joe Dez, what's the key to this game today?
It's going to be if the Spartans can stay playing their brand. When they play their brand of basketball, they are unbeatable. That's what they did in the entire first half. They're up by 10 at halftime, doing full court presses, just going for the threes, and then moving the ball. And in the second half, that slowed down. There's a lot of plays where they felt like they were winning already, and they kind of took plays off, it looked like.
And Robin Froehlich talks a lot about connected basketball, and the biggest part of that seems to be making their shots. When they're hitting shots, that allows them to get into their press and try and create chaos and get more turnovers. But when they're not hitting shots, feels like nothing goes right. And that's what happened at Minnesota when they just didn't show up.
Yeah, had 50 at the end of the game. They had 50 at halftime the next game.
Yeah. And it's just, it was a weird fluke game for Michigan State, but it really does continue to seem like when they hit their shots, they can play with anybody. When they don't, they're in trouble.
Yeah, well, the thing was, when a team is shooting 71% from the field in the entire half, they're not expecting the other team to be matching that every time. And it wasn't like they were wide open shots every time. They were well defended. Both teams were just on the craziest heater to start the game.
Yeah, I thought the heater we saw at the Breslin yesterday in the first half was something, but nothing compared to 71% from both teams. Let's move over to the ice. A big series in hockey this weekend. Michigan State and Michigan. On the road at Yost, and then at LCA. Matt, you were on the call for both games. first, kind of just tell me, what did you see out there? You can go through Friday and Saturday
All right.
for people that didn't see what happened.
So for those that missed the game, on Friday night, Michigan State, for a team that's been struggling early in series, early in games the last couple of weeks, they came out and matched Michigan well, especially going on the road at Yost. Even after Gavin Brindley made it 1-0, the Michigan State's fourth line of Kelly, Shouty, and Monisto has been played incredible this weekend. They had 3 of the team's 8 goals, including the equalizer on Friday night from Tanner Kelly. He then scored again last night. He had the first goal.
I think he had the first one for MSU.
I believe he had the first goal last night. And he was somebody that struggled. He had I think it was like 20-something penalty minutes in game 1 a couple weeks ago in East Lansing in that like absolute blowout of the 7-1 game. He lost his cool, and he served time for it. He didn't play for a couple weeks, but Coach Nightingale put him back in the lineup this weekend, and he came out and he played incredible, that whole line. We saw how deep this Michigan State team is. They roll 4 lines for all 60 minutes. As long as everybody's going like they were this weekend, they played as close to a full 120 minutes of hockey as you can play. On the Michigan side, they have one line, their top line of Brindley, McGroarty, and Nazar. Incredible. There might be one line in all of college hockey that's better with over at Boston College with Perrault, Smith, and Ryan Leonard. But other than that, I mean, Michigan does not have any depth. Their bottom 2 lines, I don't even know if they ever if they did touch the ice, it didn't feel like it. They had no impact on the game. Meanwhile, Michigan State's fourth line was being out, the grind line shadowing that top line of Michigan. And I mean, Michigan, Brindley had 2 goals on the weekend, and I think they had another power play goal last night. But other than that, like, Michigan State's defensively was very responsible, did a good job. Trey Augustine was incredible in that. I mean, if you guys have any other questions, but that was just a fun weekend of hockey and a program kind of defining win for Coach Nightingale, especially winning in Detroit, which Michigan State hasn't done since 2016.
Yeah, I was going to ask kind of what did you learn from this group this weekend that can kind of going into this final month of the regular season?
I learned that they've grown a lot over the last couple weeks. Early in the year, we saw they struggled to go on the road, got swept at Boston College. Now, they haven't played a team nearly as good as Boston College yet this season, but still, they've done a great job. 7 of their last 8 wins have been away from Munn. They've done a great job of winning on the road, especially as of late down the stretch. They have done a great job of now learning how to come back from leads and how to hold on to leads. They had to come back on Friday night. Now, they're only down for 25 seconds before answering right back. But we've seen them have some comeback wins. They had one against Minnesota a couple weeks ago at home. They had the one on Friday night. And then last night, they were up 3-1 going into the third period. Michigan trying to avoid the sweep. Michigan's a bubble team for the NCAA tournament. They're trying to avoid missing the tournament for the first time in, I think, since 2017. And Michigan threw everything they had at them. They even got one back about halfway through the third, and Michigan State just buckled down and shut the door. So just to see that resiliency and to see that this young group is really starting to grow up, and they've blown leads like this early in the season. They had a loss against Penn State at home where they were up 2 goals in the middle of the second and just fell apart in the end and lost in a shootout. But they didn't do that yesterday, and that was really nice to see.
Yeah, there was a frenzy late, too, that Augustine had to kind of fend off from Michigan in that final minute to keep it that 1-goal lead and keep things from going to an overtime period, and able to take all 6 points, which was massive to match Wisconsin. They're 5 points up, with 2 games in hand. So more than likely it's going to come down to that final weekend in Madison.
Yeah, I mean, Michigan State gets a weekend off. Meanwhile, Wisconsin takes on Ohio State, I believe, this upcoming weekend. Ohio State has really been struggling, so if the Buckeyes can find a way to steal some points from Wisconsin, that'd be nice. And then Wisconsin plays Penn State the following weekend. I believe both series are on the road. And then meanwhile, in 2 weeks, Michigan State plays Ohio State. So Spartans got to look to take all 6 points in their final homestand. And then, I mean, that series at Madison should be an absolute awesome game. It'll be 2 elite teams, probably the 2 best teams in the conference right now. I know Minnesota's starting to play some really good hockey.
Oh, yeah.
Those 3 teams at the top of the Big Ten are really fun to watch. And come the NCAA tournament, I expect at least one of them, maybe 2 of them, can find their way to Minneapolis for the for the Frozen Four.
And you mentioned Minnesota. I think that's why that comeback win for Michigan State and East Lansing against Minnesota was so big, especially finding that goal before overtime with 4 seconds left, Russell's winner. That gave you 3 points in that series and allowed you to split it. Because Minnesota, if not, Minnesota's right in the middle of this race.
I mean, yeah, and they're getting really hot at the right time. They're an incredible program, and I mean, they're just a machine. They've been the Frozen Four each of the last 2 seasons, I believe, as well, along with Michigan. They've just been the standard in college hockey.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but they were in the championship game last year, right? They lost to Quinnipiac?
Yeah, they lost to Quinnipiac after Michigan lost to them in the semifinal game.
Yep.
And Minnesota as a program is incredible. They have tons of talent, and we kind of saw that on display. I think the 2 best teams of roster and talent, top to bottom, in this conference, I'm not completely familiar with Wisconsin, but Minnesota's tough to beat. Like, they have 4 lines they can throw at you. They have Snuggerud and Pitlick and NHL-level talent. Kloss, their goaltender, is an incredible goalie. And it's interesting because a lot of these teams have senior-led goaltending, whereas Michigan State led by Trey Augustine. I don't remember how old McClellan is for Wisconsin. I believe he's a senior, but he could be a freshman. I genuinely don't know.
You're looking at either way. Augustine's the youngest
but
goaltender
Augustine is the youngest,
college hockey.
and he just has that poise. He doesn't look like a freshman in net. You have Artem Levchinov on the blue line for Michigan State. He doesn't look like a freshman out there. Just the size, his skill level, his decision-making. So just for how young this team is, they don't play like it, and they have a lot of poise, and that's why they're having the season that they're having, and they're starting. A couple of their lines are struggling, but then again, the fourth line's picked it up the last couple games, and they're starting to peak at the right time.
So is this MSU's year in hockey? Or do you think that not saying like that they're going to win a title, but I'm saying, is this their best shot at the window? Or when you talk about this team being so young, are they going to be better next year?
This team is not even close to what I think it can become. I asked Coach Nightingale about, because part of the big deal playing the dual in the D is not only is it Michigan State, and Detroit, but there's a lot of hockey talent that it plays in Metro Detroit. A lot of players from Metro Detroit were playing in that game last night.
Yeah.
Every time they show people on the Jumbotron, half of them are kids wearing their team's gear from somewhere in Metro Detroit. So a lot of hockey talent, and to go into Detroit and win and show, hey, this is Spartan hockey. Yes, Michigan's dominated this series, but Michigan State is here to play.
It's huge.
It's going to be huge for recruiting, and Michigan State's already shown that. Trey Augustine was a Michigan commit at one point, and Nightingale was able to flip him before showing any type of results to show, hey, this is where we're going. Now Michigan State has evidence to back it up, like, hey, we're going to be coming, and look at that. We have only been here for 2 years, and we're already competing and running the Big Ten. So there's tons of talent still coming. They have, I think it was 3 players from the national development team that played against Michigan State a couple weeks ago. Nobody, I think they're losing, they can lose at 4 players might be leaving. Some guys still have COVID years they can use if they want. So there's going to be tons of talent back next year. Even if some guys go and, Isaac Howard, Red Savage, even if those players decide to go play professional hockey last year instead of the last year of college, Michigan State's going to have plenty of talent right back up to fill in those holes. And this team could make a Frozen Four depending on who they get matched up with in the NCAA tournament. If they get BC or BU, they're screwed. Those are the 2 best teams in college hockey, and it's not really close.
As of right now, I'm going to ask this first. Is there any restriction on the 1 and the 2 seed being from the same conference in a region?
No.
Because if it ended right now, Michigan State would be the 2 seed in Wisconsin's region.
There's some weird stuff they make about it. I know,
and that's what I didn't know.
Part of it's host sites, like if certain teams pay to host the regional, which is stupid in college hockey. I don't know why they don't do home. Whoever the 1 seed is, host the weekend. That's how they should do it. But instead, we get to send our teams out to Sioux Falls, St. Louis. Well, Maryland Heights, Missouri is the official name.
Correct.
Yes.
Springfield, Mass.
Yep.
And
can you get the other one? I'm looking at it. So
Sioux Falls. Is it Providence?
It is Providence.
I'm like,
I was going to say. Sioux Falls is going to be North Dakota.
They go to Allentown, Pennsylvania every 2 years for some reason. I don't know where the hell that is.
Sioux Falls is going to be is going to be North Dakota, I would assume. I would be surprised if it's not.
The top, BC and BU will probably take on the Springfield and but even the teams,
Providence regional,
the Providence regional, but Providence, because they paid for it, can be in that regional. They get to play at home, regardless of their seed, which is stupid.
Right.
So that's
if Providence makes the tournament,
which as of right now they were an 11 seed. They're going to be 11-12, so they're kind of on the bubble.
A 3-4.
They're holding on. They'll be strong enough to.
Is there anybody out of the top 16 right now that's going to have to be an AQ? Are there any conferences that don't have anybody yet?
RIT will be an AQ, and St. Thomas right now is I can't believe St. Thomas is the best team in the CCHA. That conference sucks this year.
Oh, wow. 34th in the pairwise.
Yes. St. Thomas or Minnesota State is going to win the CCHA, the fraudulent CCHA, I might add.
So you're really looking at, if those 2 teams are going to be AQs, you're looking at got to be in the top 14.
Top 14 teams.
And so that would put Michigan out right now, which is what we talked about with that bubble for Michigan.
Yeah, I mean, they got to find a way to pull off some wins here late in the season. They have a pretty tough schedule. They got, I believe it's Minnesota and Notre Dame to close out.
That sounds correct.
That sounds right.
They don't have to play.
They're done with Ohio State. They're done with Michigan. They're done with Wisconsin. So that would leave Penn State, Minnesota, and and Notre Dame left. So but yeah, I mean, Michigan State's playing really well. It should be exciting to see how they can do. They haven't played in the NCAA tournament since 2012. First time they've already coming into the weekend, they had set their program record for Big Ten conference wins in the season. And Coach Nightingale was kind of like whatever about it. Like, I mean, the standard wasn't very high to begin with. So
I mean, that's fair.
So like, hey, like that's great. We beat it. It's good. We're there year 2, right? And now moving forward.
Right.
So yeah, I'm excited to see how this one closes out and. Should be fun. Obviously, some exciting hockey going to be coming up in next couple weeks.
Yeah, it is, and it's going to be fun to follow this team and fun to talk about them as we go along. Now another team that's been interesting to talk about. The men's basketball team will get into their whirlwind week when we come back on the Green and White Report on WDBM East Lansing. Welcome back to the Green and White Report on WDBM. Moving things along, talking about men's basketball now. This Michigan State team had just a roller coaster week.
Maybe the lowest low of the season to the highest, maybe the highest high of the season.
Yeah,
I don't know that it's the lowest low.
One of them.
It's close.
It is close. The thing that worries me, and also I don't know that it's the highest high, but
one of them.
The
I think the Baylor game was the highest high.
Oh,
that nothing felt better than
that's fair.
The Minnesota game, that's a road game. Yes, you played like garbage late, but that game's on the road. Getting blown out on your home floor by Wisconsin might have been the lowest low to me.
That was bad. That wasn't great.
Morale after that game was
I get that Wisconsin
rough.
was good. Now, Wisconsin looks awful right now, and they've lost 4 in a row and got blown out by Rutgers. They lost to Michigan.
They lost to Michigan. That's
indicative
hold
of
on,
where you
hold on.
are.
Boy, K-State took care of business yesterday.
Wait till next week before you start saying but they lost at Michigan because Michigan State.
I'm fully
to
prepared
Michigan,
for this team to lose at Michigan.
I cannot agree more.
Nothing surprises me anymore with this
So,
team. That's why I can't, with all the surprise, like people losing their crap on Twitter every week. Like, guys, how are you surprised by this? Like, you claim you've been Michigan State fans for years.
I'm numb.
Not that this specifically happens every year, but this stuff just happens. Like, this program is what it is. Like, are you really that shocked? Like, we got blown out at home by Wisconsin. We lost to James Madison on opening night. Like,
hey, put some respect on the Dukes.
We lost to Middle Tennessee State after they shot the lights out. The Syracuse game.
They win that game if Kenny Goins plays.
You lost to Kevin Ollie in the Elite Eight. Like
not Kevin Ollie.
I thought Kevin Ollie was the best coach ever.
You lost.
So it's a good thing.
You lost to John Thompson III at Madison Square Garden in the middle of February.
Legendary coach, but okay.
His son. No, it's his son, not John. Not the
big
one.
Still legendary. No, I know.
He's
I'm
not legendary. Patrick Ewing needed one more year.
Oh goodness!
But just like this team loses a lot of terrible basketball games and stupid. I don't know. Roll with it, people.
Yeah,
and then they start celebrating like this team's going to win a title now after yesterday's win.
I was dying at somebody did
happy medium right.
Somebody
in the middle.
made a post and it was driving. It was when they fell down by 8 to Illinois in the second half, and it was driving directions from East Lansing to Dayton, talking about the first 4. And they made that post, and then they replied to it 20 minutes later with driving directions from East Lansing to Phoenix after they won the game. And I was just like, that is this fan base. And I know they were kidding about the Phoenix thing, but that is this fan base in a nutshell.
That's a fan base in a tweet.
Electric.
Yeah.
I loved it. But let's start with that Minnesota game. Up by 9 in the second half. You feel like everything is going their way. They're going to pull away. The vibes are fine. They're doing well. And then Tyson Walker goes down with a groin injury that he claims is not an injury. He says he just walks with a limp after the game. He said he's from New York and he walks with a limp and he's not hurt. But he left the game holding his groin at Minnesota. They're up by 9. When he comes back, that lead's been cut to 2. Minnesota scored the first 7 of their 10-0 run. And after that, it was tough. I mean, you let Cam Christie beat you.
Yes.
Because you let him get hot.
5 from 7
and you
from
thought
3.
that he couldn't, it's almost like they thought he couldn't shoot. Like they left him open. And then when he got hot, he made everything.
Based on how his brother played here, not a bad assumption. But anyways.
I think that's, I don't like that take. But
respect LA Laker, Max Christie.
No.
LA Lakers starter.
Lakers lost the deadline, by the way.
Lakers starter. I mean,
because they didn't do anything.
Yeah,
they did lose the deadline, but Lakers starter Max Christie. Anyways, yeah, AJ Hoggard was not good. He had 4 points. He missed the game-tying free throw late. Somebody made a comment that them going 2 for 3 on that was minus 500,000 odds.
Oh, it
but,
was
with the way
so
that
obvious that
went.
it was going to happen.
He was either missing the first one or
then.
the last one, and when he made the first two, I'm like, all right, it's over.
Yep.
But,
Wrap it up.
Yeah, it was an interesting performance overall from Michigan State. Malik Hall scored 5 points in the first 2 minutes, and then had 1 point on a free throw, his fourth of the game at that point, with 10 minutes left in the first half, and then didn't score the final 30 minutes. And he was 1 of 6 from the line. MSU went 7 of 17 as a whole from the line and dropped to 500 in conference play. A lot was made of Tom Izzo's comments after the game. I'm curious if you guys read into this as much as some people did, about his comments about the head of the snake. They made the claim that, so for years and decades, Izzo has called his point guard the head of the snake all the time. And he, after the game, called himself the head of the snake. And a lot of people read into that saying it was intentional and it was a calling out of Hoggard. I don't know if you guys agree or disagree with that. But at the end of the day, it seemed to work.
I don't know. I would say after yesterday's performance, it might have been directed, and like you said, it might have worked because that was the best game of his season so far.
I have a lot of thoughts because people have been throwing out a lot of different claims, especially after the Minnesota loss, because people are just trying to grasp at straws of making an explanation. Like
people are angry, and
Izzo, I get it, you're angry, but
rational.
Izzo doesn't have what he used to have. He's not yelling at players. Meanwhile, he screamed at Jaden Akins after that stupid technical. Which, to be fair, the referees yesterday were awful. I don't know who employs those people, but oh my
wow.
Capital
So let's
A,
talk
awful.
about these.
They were bad.
Let's talk about that technical right now, though.
That
and
was
that whole
dumb.
situation.
And Hawkins shouldn't have been teed up either. Let's be fair.
It felt like a makeup
That was
call.
my thing. Well, I don't even think it felt like a makeup call. What it felt like to me was with the thing with Akins, and Akins said this after the game, so I know he knows, but you can't do that when
They already called it.
they had called the one on Coleman Hawkins.
I mean, I agree. But
I don't necessarily think they should have called it on Coleman Hawkins, but after that's called, you can't do that. And the funniest thing to me was that the official that was standing right there, Earl Walton, he didn't call it. But then Illinois' bench went nuts because they were like, what are you, like, you can't do it this way. And then the other official, not the one that called the technical on
Coleman
Hawkins, that was Eric Curry. But Rob, I'm going to butcher this name because I don't know how to pronounce it, but Kuhnman, he called the technical foul on Akins, and rightfully so with how the game had been
I
called.
don't disagree calling it both ways that way. Just don't call it either way.
I agree.
Neither one was a technical. The call on Cooper,
Yeah, that
awful.
one was
the
not
foul
great.
on Mahdi, and my favorite part was on TV. So I don't remember, was it Dane Danger that tried running over Mahdi and got caught up?
It
in
was
tangles?
it was Quincy Gary, I think.
Okay.
It would have been a lot bigger of a collision if it was
Anyways.
Danger and
Oh,
Sissoko.
they-
Those are the two
they
biggest
called
guys
two
on the
trucks
floor.
hitting
They
each other.
called the foul, and the color person on BT or on CBS goes,
Yeah, Steve Lapis.
I love Steve Lapis. You don't need a 3. Anyways, he goes, if that's a foul, why aren't you reviewing it? Because if that's a foul, if you think he intentionally did
It's a
that,
flagrant.
that's a flagrant foul, which I'm like, you're right. But they didn't. They just called it. I'm like, oh. Anyways, the referees were awful. Anyways, but Izzo.
You're going to get to see it in a minute. The game is playing right now on our television.
Anyways.
In the
But
studio.
I don't know. I think just this fan base confuses me because they keep going off about we need the old Izzo back, but you're complaining because Izzo won't change with the times. Like you can't pick and choose. Like if you want the old Izzo back in a suit screaming
trust me,
at
they
all
will
of his
pick and
players.
choose.
I know they'll pick and choose because it's the easiest thing to do.
Every fan
But
base
it's like,
does this, though.
but it's
so
like-
it's not a surprise.
I want the old Izzo back. Okay.
Do you want
they're
the
gonna
old
run-
Mike Tomlin back?
Yes, because the old Tomlin made Super Bowls. So yeah.
Do you want the old Izzo that doesn't use the portal and doesn't run a modern offense and screams at his players, but hey, he wears a suit and he gets his players to play right?
The
Cool.
wears a suit is the dumbest
wears a suit is
call
dumb.
for ever. Him putting on a suit is not going to change anything.
Which, I mean, the best 2 players on the team in the last couple of years, Joey Hauser and Tyson Walker, are via the portal.
Mm-hmm.
Like, let's keep that in mind.
Do I think that he could have went and got another center?
Of course he could have.
But at the end of the day, And would that have solved a lot of the problems on this team?
Maybe.
Yes.
A few, yeah.
I think that Jackson Kohler being healthy from the start of the year would have solved a lot of those problems.
But I think the biggest issue
That's what I've been saying,
is I think Izzo realizes that the portal doesn't work for the way. Have we noticed that players in their first year in Michigan State do not produce at their high? Like, I mean, no crap, but even transfers. Like Tyson Walker's first year here, it took him until February to figure out to start shooting the basketball. He refused to shoot because he wanted to get acclimated into the offense. Freshmen on these teams just don't produce. Other than unless you're Miles Bridges and Jaron Jackson, you don't play at a high level.
Those are outliers.
Right, those guys are freak athletes.
Or Jeremy Fears this year.
I mean, Jeremy Fears was playing well.
He was playing really well.
For a freshman, he was playing really well.
Somebody made a statement that if he comes back, his March Madness run is going to be legendary.
Could be. And I'm excited because another issue I have is I think part of the problem is that this team has been around the block. This is the same core of players for the third straight year, and they've been doing the same thing for 3 straight years, and they know they can turn it on. That's why I wasn't worried about this game yesterday, because they knew they had to win, and they went out and played like it. And it's frustrating, but it makes me excited for March because they know they don't get another shot. This is it. Mm-hmm. So March Madness, you're going to, I mean, every year you get your best in March, but like they really will not let them. I genuinely believe they can go on a run simply because Tyson Walker, AJ Hogarth, and Malik Hall are going to show up with that attitude.
Because every game for them is like, this could be our last game ever in college. Gotta go.
I want to talk about AJ Hogarth.
North America too. So
I want to talk about So I was reading the article by Graham Couch, his column after the game, and I think that he puts a good point on something, and he did acknowledge that this could be hyperbole after a win. But a lot was made of this, and I think it is a good point, especially if they do go on a run. And I think a big part of that is when that technical happened, you saw something that if they go on a run is going to be talked about. And Jaden Akins gets called for the tech, and Izzo starts screaming at Jaden Akins, as you talked about, Matt. But what Hogarth did was Hogarth came and he pushed Izzo back to the bench.
This is the clip I saw all over Twitter. Everybody was talking about like this.
And that's what I was saying.
This is the catalyst if we do something, if they do something.
Never forget last year in the Big Ten tournament when Hogarth played awful against Ohio State in that game they should not have lost to a fraud in Chris Holtmann. Izzo and Hogarth were at each other's throats and people were complaining because, it looks like Hogarth doesn't care. Look what happened in March Madness. Hogarth shows up. Now, yes, your point guard, you should not have to challenge your point guard once every 3 weeks. It is kind of exhausting, AJ. You've been here way too long to have to deal with this.
Some players are like that, though, and you need to do that to extract performances.
That's a toxic relationship. That's not how we should be doing things here.
That's how I do.
But I don't know. I think I'm excited for next year's team. I don't want to look towards next year because I still think this team can do something. I don't know how good this team, but I think for next year, with these seniors leaving, a player like Jeremy Fears finally can be able to run things. If the right players stay, if Booker stays, I don't think Akins is gone. Cohen Carr does not shoot; he can't leave.
No,
Garrick Norman, I don't think he would have taken the red shirt if he was going to transfer.
Yeah. So, well, I mean, maybe,
but I don't. I think he would have made a bigger fuss.
I think he's going to stay, but I don't think taking the red shirt would be wise.
Yeah, it's not
I
out of
think
the
if
question.
he was going to leave for sure, you do take the red shirt if you weren't going to play much.
But at the same time, I think he's kind of bought in. If you see him on the sideline, he doesn't look like he's
no.
checked
Like
out.
I said,
So,
I don't think that Norman's going to leave at all. But I just think that if you are going to transfer, you do take the red shirt.
They're bringing in some talent. I know they're still trying to lock down Bryson Tucker.
Yeah, that'd be a huge. Bryce Tucker would be a huge
all this team needs, and maybe Garrett can be that player to shoot on the wing and play defense. I mean, number one, I'm tired of watching Jaden Akins be a 3-and-D player. He's way too good to be relegated to sitting on the corner and chucking up threes in transition. Like, he does a pretty good job at that, but put the ball in his hands and let him make some plays. And I think that'll happen more next year.
I mean, it doesn't work with the group they've got right now.
I know, it doesn't. And
like, he talked about at the beginning of the year wanting to get the ball in his hands more, but like, if you do that, you're taking the ball out of the hands of the two players that I think are better at the moment.
I think I kind of talked about this with some people over the last week I think Jaden Akins could have a similar arc over the next 14 months. Maybe doesn't play at a National Player of the Year level of Denzel Valentine.
Yeah.
Like that wing guard type player.
It's an interesting
He
thought,
shoots the ball really well. He could be, if this team is going to go on a run, he's going to have to play at a high level.
He can play at a high level. I just think he's a very different player than Denzel Valentine.
He might not have quite the playmaking ability that Denzel has, but at the same time, I mean, he did play point guard in high school. I know at a college level it's a completely different type of game, but I think he can. We haven't seen him. He's never been given the opportunity to try and run the offense at any kind. I know next year will still be Holloman and Fears running the point, but I still think he can be that guy. And like over the next 14 months, really, I mean, he's been obviously that recruiting class. Pierre's gone and Max is gone, so he's the guy in that recruiting class. But he can be an elite player like we've seen. He's such a great athlete. So I just don't like seeing him being a 3-and-D player. That's my biggest gripe.
Also, you want to talk about this team though, and their like what they've done over the Tom Izzo span. That was their 59th victory over a top 10 team.
Wow.
Since 95-96, since Izzo took over. That is good for 4th in the country.
Yeah, I mean, and I think this is my last point. I got really angry. When did we play Minnesota? Tuesday night. Yeah, so Wednesday afternoon I got really upset because I was just on Twitter and I almost deleted
It was bad.
It was bad. So keep in mind, so yes, we've had the last 4 years since COVID happened, hasn't been great. Keep in mind, Michigan State went to 3 straight Final Fours from 99 to 01.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
They made 1 Final Four in 05, but from 2002 to 2009, before they went to the Motor City for that Final Four against UNC, they made 1 Final Four. I believe they made 2 other Sweet 16s. Like, they really didn't. That middle 2000 stretch, I know we romanticized Drew Neitzel, really wasn't that great stretch.
I will
basketball.
take no Drew Neitzel slander on this podcast.
No, it's fair play. Come on.
Like Izzo, it wasn't like the first 20 years of Tom Izzo's career was just roses and everything was perfect. Like there were a little couple stretches where
no, but a championship fixes everything.
And I understand a championship fixes everything, but I'm saying from 2009 to 2019, this program was the best in the country, arguably the best in the country. They made 4 Final Fours in a 10, and from 09, they made 09, 10. 15,
09, 10, 15,
and 19.
And 19.
And they made, I think they failed to make the Sweet 16 like twice in that stretch. Like they made more Final Fours than times they failed to make it out of the first weekend. That's incredible. They won multiple Big Ten titles, conference championships. So I understand the last 10 years have been perfect, but Tom Izzo has been in a stretch before where they really were kind of stumbling after some elite success, after Mateen left, after the generational point guard, and they ended up figuring it out.
I mean, even look back to 2010, 2011. Where this team was coming off 2 Final Fours in a row, and they just weren't good. I mean, they lost in the first round to UCLA.
That team was awful.
I know, but I'm going forward from there.
Yeah.
But you look at that, and then they get into the next little stretch with a crew where they had some high recruiting classes. You had Keith Appling, you had all of those guys on that team, and then you had Denzel Valentine, and you got to a spot where Valentine and Forbes, they went to the Final Four in 15 with a team that they shouldn't have went to the Final Four with that has a lot of similarities to the team this year.
Travis Trice, Tyson Walker.
Travis Trice, AJ Hogard. But senior point guard inconsistencies gets called out by the coach. At Minnesota gets called out by the coach after lackluster performances.
I'm buying in.
Anyways.
MSU, UNC, and where's the Final Four at? Phoenix. Love it.
The only difference, or the biggest difference I see is in terms of roster to roster is you don't have the freshman point guard anymore. That was the Tum Tum Nairn. That was the freshman point guard that was the best leader since Mateen.
Tum Tum didn't do crap other than be a leader. Like he averaged, I think, 3 points a game in his career.
Right.
And
Tum Tum was also an elite defensive point guard.
That's true.
The other thing that I was about to say with that is Tum Tum was the one that they benched Travis Trice for a little while.
Future
in that
Spartan head
tournament.
coach Tum Tum Nairn.
All right, but
in some capacity.
Does that mean Xavier Booker is going to turn into Gavin Schilling?
No.
Damn it.
Xavier Booker will never.
Damn it.
That is about as far from like player comps that you can get.
It's just a 4.
Not that they're both like Gavin Schilling was a good player, and Xavier Booker I think can be a good player. They're just very different players.
The play styles could not be more different.
I mean, you're like talking about Kofi Coburn and Coleman Hawkins.
Could you imagine? Could you imagine if Michigan State made it to the Final Four and played like UNC? Could you imagine Mady Sissoko and Carson Cooper trying to guard Armando Bacot? That would.
There are worse matchups than you're making that seem like it's the worst possible matchup, and it's not.
It's really not.
What is?
It's not. Did you see what Mady Sissoko did to Oscar Tshiebwe last year? Not that Mady Sissoko can't do that, but Oscar Tshiebwe and Armando Bacot are very similar players.
Actually, if for some reason Izzo put Booker at the 5, that would be the worst matchup. But he refuses to put Booker at the 5, even though he probably should have for a little bit yesterday when Illinois kept running that zone.
He refuses to give him
because
5 minutes.
Coleman Hawkins was posted up in the paint, which if you're going to sit right in the middle of the paint, Coleman, you probably should defend the rim. And
I liked what Michigan State did against that with their centers. I will defend their centers on this. What Michigan State did when Coleman Hawkins sat in the paint was they sprinted Hogard or Walker off a tight screen that forced a switch, and it gave them that push shot and that floater that they hit all day long because Hawkins didn't have time to react to get in front of it.
I'm just saying, if you're going to be the 7-footer standing underneath the rim because the Michigan State centers have no shooting threat, probably should defend the rim better than what you did.
I don't like that Kohler doesn't look to shoot at all anymore. Like, Jackson Kohler's a good three-point shooter, and he catches the ball at the point and doesn't even look at the rim.
I know. He need.
Like, there's paint sitting him, and he is refusing to look at the rim.
They just need a 5 that can stretch it just a little bit.
But let's talk about Malik Hall in that game yesterday, though, because we haven't yet. He took over down the stretch.
He really did.
I mean, you look at this game, and I'm curious on your guys' thoughts, because I know, Jack, you were at the game, and Matt, you were watching, and I want your honest thoughts, not the 2020 never a doubt. When they went down 8 and Marcus Damask hit that 3 on the broken possession, what were the chances you thought Michigan State was coming back in this game?
I thought they were going to lose.
I thought it was over.
I thought it was over.
I thought it was, and I said on the broadcast, I said it's slipping away, and Michigan State needs a response.
Right. I thought, but then again on Tuesday night, I thought they were like the entire game on Tuesday. I thought they were going to win, even up until like I think with like a minute and a half left. I was like, this game is not going. Because even when Minnesota started creeping back into it, I'm like, it's fine. Michigan State will answer with a run. They kind of did it against Maryland. Once Maryland took the lead, Michigan State punched them right back in the mouth. I mean, Michigan State kind of falls into the category with everybody else in the country. Home court, they take care of business. Nobody can win on the road this year. And that's why I'm excited for March Madness being neutral site, obviously. It's going to be a lot of fun.
That worries me for next week, though. And let's get into, we can talk a little bit about next
Michigan?
week. For Michigan State. Not just Michigan.
Oh, they're
on the road at Penn State and at Michigan. 2 teams at the bottom of the conference that you need to take care of business against. But both teams have beaten teams from the top of the conference on their home floor.
Yeah.
And so
my only hope with Michigan is that they got their random ass win out of the way. Like, cool, they beat Wisconsin. Now they're gonna go back into hibernation for a couple of weeks.
I mean, they got blown out. They got blown out at Nebraska, but at the same time, no one wins at Nebraska. You don't even need to tip the ball at Nebraska. If the game is being played in Lincoln, Nebraska wins. If it's being played away from Lincoln, Nebraska's gonna lose. That's it. Plain and simple. They don't win on the road, and they don't lose at home.
I'm being texted UConn propaganda saying the only team that can win on the road this year is the Huskies.
Agreed.
It doesn't matter. They're going to lose in March.
They're not. They're going to be the team that's going to break it this year, man.
I don't think so. They might be.
They are going to be the team that's going to break it.
They will be.
In years past, there have been really good champions that come back, and there's also good teams around them. UConn doesn't really have, like, UNC is kind of it, if we're being honest. Kentucky does not play defense.
No.
Kentucky's awful.
The UNC like hype, that's the only good team from you is interesting to me. I don't think that UNC is the only good team in college basketball.
They're the only non-fraudulent team in college
I
basketball.
don't think so.
No.
But
my dad just texted me and said Arizona. They are fraudulent. They could play in the first 4 against they'll be a 2-3 seed. They could throw them against the first 4 team and they could lose to a 15 seed again.
They could, but
Arizona's not taking care of business in the Pac-12 this year. Usually
I'm assuming you didn't watch
that.
the game last night from Arizona.
No, I was driving back from Detroit.
Yeah, you were. Arizona put up one of the most impressive performances I've seen this year. With the context of it, they blew out Colorado at Colorado, which I know is not going to be that impressive, but they were playing on a 48-hour turnaround in elevation after a 3 overtime win against Utah, and they already aren't that deep.
Ivy League school go Burr. Bro, a bunch of nerds from Princeton walk in and just slap them again.
That Princeton team was actually legitimate.
They were good, yeah.
I mean, yeah,
that Princeton team went to the Sweet 16, but anyways.
I don't want a 15 seed in the Sweet 16 this year. Unpopular opinion.
I do if I get to watch them.
I mean, valid, but I don't know.
If they're at the regional that I'm at, I'm kind
of picky about my Cinderellas. You got to be a quality basketball team. Like Loyola Chicago.
That's a quality.
Princeton was a quality basketball team. FDU last year, not a quality basketball team.
FDU, I was like, please don't win a second game.
FDU shouldn't have been in the tournament. People forget that. They lost their conference regular season and their conference tournament. The only reason they got in was because of the Division 2 to Division 1 rules about Merrimack that cost them a chance at it. That's it. That's the only reason they got in. They should have been out.
Yeah. I mean, who are some other bad Cinderellas? I'm sorry, St. Peter's. I was not on the St. Peter's train. I was not a fan.
Really? I liked St. Peter's.
Them beating Kentucky was
cool. They had
cool.
good players.
Them beating Purdue was electric.
Yeah, but like them playing the Elite Eight and then they got housed by UNC. I'm like, they're gonna get.
I was
like,
so sad
like one of
that they
these
lost to
games, they're just
UNC.
not gonna show up and play at an elite level, and somebody's gonna show up and play like an Elite Eight team, and they're gonna get exposed, and they did, and that's not against them. They are what they are. It's just simply, there's the Izzo push. I just saw AJ Hogarth give him a
we
little.
wanted.
They're already to halftime?
That's a charge. Yeah, they condense it into 60 minutes.
Oh, it's the Big Ten and basketball in 60. Yeah.
What's gonna be your reaction when Indiana State makes the Final Four this year?
Oh, here's my bold prediction.
I've already watched the Sycamores play.
Here's my bold
I like the
prediction.
way they play
Yeah, I think
basketball.
they're
My
They're
bold
gonna go
prediction is
far.
if
Ball
Indiana
movement, Robbie
State
Avila.
if Indiana State plays Purdue in the second round as a 9 seed in Indianapolis, Indiana State will beat Purdue. That is my
probably.
prediction.
I couldn't agree more.
I just received a text message from my father that says the Richard Pitino led Lobos of New Mexico are a Cinderella team.
pretty
Yeah, they
good,
just
too.
lost yesterday at home.
They're not good. They
They
lost
They
at
are
home?
good. They lost at home to
That's like the
UNLV.
to UNLV 80-77.
God, they lost at the pit.
They did.
They might not even make the tournament.
There are some people that think the Mountain West can get 6 teams in this
I know
year.
they can. They're better. That's better than the ACC. I mentioned that a couple weeks ago. It's a better
The Mount-
conference.
It's close.
It's close, but it's not.
The ACC could be a 2-bid conference. It's UNC and Duke.
Ooh, out on that one.
Clemson,
Virginia.
Virginia, their offense is so bad.
But they've been playing
Like,
a lot
When
better
has their
recently.
offense been
you
good
talk
ever?
about Tom Izzo basketball being bad, which it's not great, but
Looking at the ACC, UNC is in. Virginia at 19-5 and 10-3 in the ACC is in. Duke is in.
Right.
Wake Forest is a bubble team. Florida State is a bubble team. Clemson is
Florida
in.
State lost to Louisville. They're not in the bubble. I'm sorry. You lose to Louisville, you're done.
Okay.
I'm
So-
sure that's
is
what the
Northwestern-
selection
So is
committee's
Northwestern
gonna
a
do.
tournament team? Because they lost to a team at home worse than Louisville.
Yeah, but whoever runs Chicago State is better than Kenny Payne's Louisville-led basketball team.
Out. Chicago State is not good.
They didn't lose to DePaul. That's all that matters. That's
Goodness.
No one loses
Louisville
to
lost to
DePaul.
DePaul, right? Or no? Has anybody lost to DePaul this year?
What's their record?
DePaul's not going to win a conference game, guys. That's
DePaul is 3-20.
yeah.
Have they won a conference game?
No,
No,
no, they're 0-12.
I remember texting you.
They play
when
UConn
they
at
were,
home on Wednesday.
I remember texting you when they were tied with Georgetown and
Whatever
sending
the
you
line
the
is, hammer
screenshot
it.
saying hearing reports of DePaul. But
They beat Xavier.
going a couple other games around the country.
they didn't.
I need to talk about.
They beat Chicago State.
Oh, that was last
yeah.
year. Oops, never mind.
DePaul beat Louisville, so that tells you how bad the Cardinals are.
Yeah, I need to talk to you about this Purdue game though. They blew out Indiana, but Zach Edey made a 3.
I saw and he's going to do that against us too. I'm confident he's going to do that.
I have.
There's no chance that Zach Edey
So
makes a 3
this-
against Michigan
How
State.
many times when Michigan State's gone to Purdue? It's always in February, correct?
It's February or March, and it's always a Sunday afternoon game, but it's not this year.
Usually, it feels like it's normally in February. This one's games, I believe, March 1st
It's
or like
March
March
2nd.
March
Yeah.
2nd. That's right around when Matt Painter starts getting a little too sleepy. All I'm saying, guys, is if there's a year to win at Mackey, it's in the month of Izzo. That's all I'm saying. If they don't do it this year, they're never going to do it again. I got to be honest. I mean, there have been much better Michigan State teams going into much worse Purdue teams, but it's March. It'll be March, and Matt Painter is such a fraud. I can't wait for them. They're playing so well right now. I love
Everyone
it.
is a fraud for
They're-
you.
They're playing such good
Who's
basketball.
not a fraud?
We already went through this last
UNC.
week. UNC is the only team in college basketball. He
The
thinks
only
is not a
good
fraud.
team in college basketball this year that's not a fraud is UNC. Or UConn's not a fraud. I don't want to say that they're fraudulent. They're just gonna lose in the first weekend. Like I can't pick them because I
Okay.
have my own narrative that's just off in the corner waiting to be released.
Yes.
I can't wait for them to lose to it.
He's going to absolutely go insane.
And usually I'm a guy that just says, yeah, thwill lose to whatever 8 seed. Like if they're like last year I had Kansas. If it's a bad enough 8-9 game for UConn, I will pick the 16. I will pick the 16. I don't care. If I don't believe that Florida Atlantic or Ole Miss, actually Ole Miss I could believe, but Chris Beard's beaten Purdue in the tournament before. They can do it again.
That's true.
This Ole Miss team is
man.
fun. Oh, I can't
Ole
wait
Miss
for
is a
March.
team. They are a team.
I love
They
the
are, yeah.
Rebels. Fear the Beard, baby.
They exist. Yeah. No, I don't know. We're gonna see. But UNC and Houston survived scares on the road. Gonzaga with a big bounce back win.
They needed that.
Also, I
Huge.
watched a West Coast game last night at like midnight. I was watching Santa Clara, San Francisco,
You
and it
sicko.
was.
Sicko.
I'm not afraid of it. That game was one. There was a brawl, and the best 3 players on each team got ejected midway through the second half. Santa Clara's up 8 with like a minute to go, and they blow it and lose by 1 because they foul the center for San Francisco. One, they're up 2 with the ball. They turn it over and foul the guy going for the steal from San Francisco, their center. Send him to the line. Makes the first, misses the second. They get the offensive rebound. San Francisco throws up 2 bad shots, gets offensive rebounds both times, and they foul the center again on the tip-in, and he makes both free throws, and San Francisco wins the game.
Electric.
It was insane. Crazy basketball. I watched some other crazy games yesterday, but you guys don't need to hear about the sicko Southland game that I watched. But moral of the story, chaos all around us in college hoops. Did you guys watch any of that Kansas-Baylor game? I know Matt didn't because he was busy.
I caught a little bit of it, yeah.
I thought that game was crazy. Baylor had some really good looks late because Kansas couldn't hit free throws, and Jaden Nunn had a look. Jacoby Walter had a wide open look at the buzzer, and they just couldn't hit him to send it to overtime. The fog was too much.
Kansas is another
Couldn't see through
team
it.
they can't win outside of Fog Allen.
No one can in the country except for UConn. UNC got lucky yesterday.
They beat Miami. They found a way to beat Larinaga on the road.
Fraudulent Miami team, I will say that.
That Miami team is not good. They're not very good.
I did watch them play against who did they play against in the last game that I watched against them? They came back and won late against somebody. I think it was
VT.
It was Virginia Tech. Yes, I was watching that game. And they came back and won a couple weeks ago.
Looking at the bracketology right now for March Madness and
From
these
who?
bubble. Right now, I'm looking at Jerry Palm's bubble teams.
Okay.
And just there's
Is
some-
Michigan State still on that bubble, or did he
this
update
has
it?
not been updated yet.
Okay.
So this is as of going into yesterday.
And
I
Michigan
believe.
State was first team out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got the last 4 in are A&M, Nebraska, Mississippi State, and Texas.
Nebraska wagon.
Like-
if Nebraska plays in Omaha, they're a
Oh.
Sweet 16 team.
Oh, 100%.
On the
Which
bubble,
sounds crazy, but if Nebraska gets into the tournament and plays in Omaha,
his bubble
they are a
sounds
Sweet
good.
16. That's who's going to beat UConn, Matt.
Oh, I would take UConn. I would take UConn.
Except for
or
that,
Nebraska.
actually,
I would take Nebraska. in a
UConn
heartbeat.
is not going to play in Omaha because UConn is going to be a 1 seed that's going to play in Brooklyn. So
Probably.
Um,
You have.
If that happens, Casey Tominaga is going to
Wait, that
be
would
the
be-
player of the tournament.
please just don't send
Kansas,
Michigan
Nebraska.
State to Omaha.
Kansas, Nebraska would be kind of.
Please
really,
just don't send Michigan State to Omaha. I don't want to go to Omaha.
It's kind of. I've heard it's a cool city. They have a good volleyball team.
They do have a good volleyball team, and there's college baseball stuff there that's cool, but it's March, so it's not like they're playing much college baseball there that's like, I would love to go to Omaha in July or in late June and watch College World Series, but this isn't that.
You have on the bubble for Lenardi. You have Nebraska, Butler, Ole Miss, and Florida. The last 4 byes.
Shout out Butler.
The last 4 in are Mississippi State, Washington State, Seton Hall, Cincinnati, St. John's, Wake Forest, Colorado, and Nevada are the first 4 out. The
Cincinnati's legit.
and then
Don't doubt Cincinnati.
Providence, Xavier, Villanova, and Memphis are in the first 4 out. Michigan State is better than all 16 of those basketball teams. Nebraska is and they're the last team, the closest team to being off the bubble into the field. And I mean, Michigan State and Nebraska are pretty close, I think.
They beat them in a
I mean, yeah,
neutral site.
yeah, I agree. They would be.
I would assume Michigan State
So
would. Yeah.
I can't believe Jerry Palm looks at basketball teams and goes, "Yeah, Michigan State and Seton Hall are
Because
neck
it's
and neck."
not always about the eye test. I know that's your statement right now, is that the eye test should be the biggest thing.
Watch them play.
But at the same
The
time,
numbers, the numbers support Michigan State being a team in the field. Other than the fact that they just have lost a lot of close games to a lot of really good basketball teams.
yeah, but at the end of the day, also, you got to win games. Like, they play the game. The numbers could say what they want, but they play the game for a reason,
They
and
only
the
have
team that wins
15
wins.
wins, yeah.
At 15-9, they're fine at the moment, I think, especially with that win over Illinois. But had they lost that game yesterday, and you're sitting at a 14-10 team that's
Like,
6-7 in the Big Ten,
that's
just
tough for
there's
them to
just
make it.
Too many teams in the country that are playing bad basketball. They're going to be playing in Dayton, and Michigan State's not playing that bad of basketball. It's not great. I'm not going to sit here and try and act like this is a top 25 team in the country, even though I think they are borderline top 25.
maybe. But
Like
I
30, 35.
Yeah, I would think they're closer to 30, 35 than top 25. But their ceiling is there. Like, when they turn it on, like you said, when they flip that switch,
Top 10, top 5 ceiling, for sure. Like when they
Top
switch
10.
it on.
They're
top-
top 10.
yeah, that might be. They can beat anybody in that. Are they a top 10 team in the country when they turn it on? I don't know. But they can beat pretty much anyone in the country. There are a couple teams I would think Michigan State does not want to match up with. If I'm Michigan State, I want no part of UConn at all.
Give me it.
I want no
I
part-
would love Michigan State, UConn.
No part of UConn, no part of Houston. Those are the teams that I don't want any part of.
I want UConn because I want to see your reaction to that game, the green
want
and
Nick
white,
Burt.
after that game happens.
I don't care what happens. Nick Burt would drive to East Lansing to be on air, regardless of what happens.
Yeah, he would.
I hope he will.
Yeah, he'd have an emergency press conference live on Twitter.
Yeah, he'd go on Twitter Spaces.
He'd do a space, yeah.
Yeah,
I hate Florida basketball.
Yeah, they blew out Auburn.
I hate Florida. They're not good. They went to triple overtime with Michigan on a
Man.
neutral site. It
Like,
wasn't
just
in Ann
you-
Arbor.
months
You're
ago.
cherry picking single games from all these teams
I
and just
don't
like they're fraudulent because they
when you
won the
play a
game.
bad enough basketball team, there's no excuse. And I know Michigan. I'm priming Michigan State for a loss on
Yeah, you
Saturday.
are. You
and
are.
I don't
Yes.
care because
Very
then
much
I'll
so.
tear into them. Because if they lose at Michigan this year, it's unacceptable. Unacceptable.
It's unacceptable, but
You're going to
not
lose on the road
that
to a team that
surprising.
won't even play in postseason basketball, to a coach that's halfway on his way to the unemployment office, and I can't. I hate Michigan basketball so much. Michigan hockey
I can tell.
is also not my favorites, but whatever. I don't care. I just hate that school. Whatever. When I got my bag got checked at Yost on Friday night. You would have thought I was trying to sneak a bomb into the White House. Like it was, like there was a piece of loose paper in the bottom of my bag, and the lady goes, "What is that?"
Do they know you're from Michigan State?
I don't
No.
think so. No, actually.
So they're just being.
She was like, "What is that?" I'm like, "It's a piece of paper." Are you sure? Yeah, I'm sure.
I'm sure.
I'm sure. My bag is just a mess, lady. Or when she thought Ethan Hunter's water bottle was a glasses case, and he goes, "No, it's a water bottle. What's in there?"
What?
Water, ma'am. So yeah, just this lady was
Splendid time
she
at
was
Yost.
she was ex-TSA, so she really had to handle her business. I'll shut up now.
Anyways, let's move to a break. When we come back, it's hour number 2. It's Super Bowl time. And we're going to come back with Super Bowl prop bets from the Merrifield Sportsbook
time to
on
gamble.
WDBM East Lansing. Welcome back to the Green and White Report on WDBM East Lansing. It is Super Bowl Sunday, so that means right now, Super Bowl prop bet times presented by the Merrifield Sportsbook. Disclaimer, Merrifield Sportsbook is not a real sportsbook. Do not call the Merrifield Sportsbook asking for a cash out request. No real money is being transferred on this account. Thank you.
I mean, if you want to send me money, you can, but bets are not protected. So
Correct.
just keep that in mind. Yes, the Merrifield Sportsbook, happy to present the Super Bowl prop bets segment of the Green and White Report. Second year we've been doing this. Third year the prop bet segment has been around on the Green and White Report, but second year we've been the proud provider. With that, we're going to start off with the most important game being played this afternoon, the Puppy Bowl on
Yes.
Animal Planet.
Let's go.
Love the Puppy Bowl. Team Rough taking on Team Fluff this afternoon.
Yep.
Team Rough coming out at 9.5 point favorites.
Wow.
Big spread. Team Rough's got some big time players led by Guy Ferrari and Bark Purdy. If over under set 141.5, so
Wow.
high scoring matchup, some Big 12 football type.
I guess
beat,
I don't
so
know what the Puppy Bowl normal scores are, so
I'm not familiar either.
you set the line.
I don't think I didn't set this line. Nick Burt did. Let's keep that. Let's make sure that's known. He set this line.
God.
So do we have any picks? Don't worry about over under. The over is probably going to hit. I'm not even sure how you score in the Puppy Bowl. I think you have to drop. I think you have to drop toys into a certain hole. I don't know. But who's got who's taking Team Rough and laying the points?
Team Fluff doesn't have them. Team Rough is winning this one. I
Last
can
year
tell
the
that.
final was 87-83 in overtime.
Who went to overtime?
What do you mean? Who went to overtime?
No,
the
I'd say
teams
that
went to overtime.
they went to overtime.
Does both teams get a chance to score in overtime, or is it like the NFL?
Yeah, I was wondering the
Don't
rules for
know
overtime.
the Puppy Bowl overtime
Josh Allen
rules.
puppy is just
Yes, you have to tune in.
Pissed off.
2 o'clock on Animal Planet, and then just kind of runs on a recycle. It's like the only thing on besides Super Bowl coverage on CBS, which is exhausting. It's been probably
Yeah.
on since 6
I'm
a.m.
going
this
to
morning.
take Team Fluff.
Team Fluff in the upset.
Yes, the underdogs. You're giving me 9.5 points. Give me Team Fluff all day.
I'm gonna ride with the dynasty Team Rough.
Going Team Rough and laying the points. What about you, Joe?
Yeah, I'm going Team Rough. You said it.
Wait, which team has Bark Purdy?
Yeah,
Bark
Purdy.
Purdy is led. Team Rough, the favorites, has Bark Purdy.
What does Team Fluff have?
Yeah, is there like a belly pat Mahomes or something like that?
Patrick Mabones.
Nice.
Oh yeah,
Nice.
Patrick
That one's
Mabones
good. That one's
is
way
taking
better.
it. Patrick Mabones on Team Fluffy. They're absolute dogs.
Yeah, I'm taking Team Fluff as well and Patrick Mabones. He's a hound mix, which leads us into our next pick for the Puppy Bowl, the MVP of the Puppy Bowl. Let me
Okay.
read you the favorite to win MVP from Team Rough, Guy Ferrari, a Shepherd and Poodle mix at plus 150. You have Patrick Mabones, hound mix, Team Fluff, plus 175. Bark Purdy, the quarterback, Chihuahua mix, at plus 200. You have Levi.
what?
What?
Bark Purdy what?
A Chihuahua mix.
I thought you said the quarterback Chihuahua
He is-
mix.
he is
and
the
I
quarterback leading
but
the
like
team.
that's how you said that. And I was like, oh.
Back to the list. We have Levi, the Great Dane, so some big size up front for Team Fluff at plus 250. Cronut, a Shar-Pei at plus 300. Bayonet, Dashan at Team Fluff for plus 450. Mr. Bean, a Papillon mix, plus 1,000. You have Niner, a Chihuahua mix at plus 2,500. And then Snack Prescott, an Australian cattle dog at plus 5,000. So how we feeling?
Australian cattle dog is taking that.
taking-
Taking the plus
You're
5,000.
taking Snack Prescott, the
Yeah,
value,
100%.
juicy value, plus
Value.
5,000.
I'm gonna take one. Do they announce a pro or
Yeah,
a
there-
Puppy Bowl MVP,
there's
or is
an-
it just
there
okay?
is
I
a
didn't know if
thing.
it was just the Merrifield Sportsbook picking someone to be the MVP.
No.
Give me Patrick Mabones leading the comeback, leading the upset. Give me Mabones, Team Fluff all the way.
I have to go with Bark Purdy to win the MVP.
Ooh.
Also, shout out last year, Pomeranian Pickle was last year's MVP.
Yeah, pickle.
Shout out Pickle.
Yeah, shout out.
Joe, do you have? Oh, you already made your pick. You took Snack Prescott.
Yeah.
He doesn't show up in big games. Doesn't win.
No, he
he
doesn't.
can't win
He
outside.
got blown out by the Packers.
He can't win outside his own doghouse. It's just
No, he
not
can't.
a built for
tough.
set. I'm taking Mr. Bean, the Papillon mix. I don't even know what a Papillon dog looks like, but a plus 1,000's got some value. So we're gonna go with that. All right, now back to the Super Bowl. Boo! Who cares?
That's the Papillon.
Oh, screw! No, I'm not
You're
doing that. That's a
cooked.
stupid. That's a rat dog.
cooked.
Screw. I'm taking Levi, the Great Dane. Big size up front.
There you go.
Yeah, we're gonna take the Great Dane. Levi.
As
at
soon
plus
as that
250.
picture came up, I knew Matt was gonna be so mad that he had
That's
picked
not a
that.
dog. That's a rat with fur.
Yikes.
Game odds. The Niners 1.5 point favorites.
Yes, they are.
Who we
Well,
taking?
don't pick this one yet. 'Cause we're gonna pick this at the end of the
okay,
show.
we'll save
Spoiler.
it. Over under's 47.5.
Under.
Taking the under.
I'm taking the over.
Life's too short to bet the under, Jack.
I'm betting the under though because it's gonna hit.
Fair.
I think it's got to be
I am
over.
normally a person that will like definitely be like if I think the under's going to hit like, and I'm also of the firm belief that not that the Merrifield Sportsbook does this, but I'm of the firm belief that sportsbooks like to or know that people want to take overs, and so they juice
Especially
the
for
over.
a game like this. That's
and
why I'm
so they
tempted to
juice
take
the
under.
over. But in terms of the points here, I think the over hits. But in terms of like player props, if we start getting into that, I think a lot of under player props are going to hit today.
I think so. I'm going to go under. I think it's going to be like a 24-20 final. I think it go either way. So I'm taking the under 47.5. I think people are going to hammer that over, inflating the line. First half over under is 23.5. Do we think it's going to be a high scoring first half or? It's gonna be...
I don't
Question.
know.
I'm gonna go with the under. I think it'll be a low scoring
I
half,
like
and
the
then
under slightly.
they'll start.
Yeah.
They'll pick it up a little bit in the second.
Yeah.
I feel like if anything, the over would be first half, under would be second half. I feel like I could be wrong. Last time they matched up in the Super Bowl, second half was lower scoring.
The Chiefs scored like 10 in a row late
Yeah.
to win that game and to push.
Niners
the
were up like late.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
up
Niners
big
were
late. That's why I
comfortable,
was
and
thinking
then
first.
they threw that pick six, right?
Yes.
That ended it.
Yeah.
With Jimmy G.
R.I.P.
He's not
Did he
dead.
pass away?
He's just his career's
He's
dead.
not dead. Anyways, all right, keep it moving.
All right. Now to Super Bowl MVP. The favorite
Can
is
I take Patrick Mabones?
Patrick Mahomes.
Not Mahomes, Mabones.
is plus 145. Brock Purdy plus 210. Christian McCaffrey plus 460. Kelsey's plus 1400. Pacheco plus 2500, and Deebo Samuel plus 2600.
Is this gonna kind of give away our picks?
It will, but it's okay.
Okay. I mean, it's the easy one. It's the layup, but you got to take the open layup. Give me Mahomes.
I think there's somewhat decent value on Travis Kelce.
I was gonna say
Yeah,
that.
I was thinking Kelsey,
narrative
too.
wise, if he scores a couple
Oh.
touchdowns. But the guy that I actually think, I don't know though, because I think this guy's most likely to win MVP and the best value for it. But I don't think they're going to win this game. I think Christian McCaffrey is the best value pick here.
value pick? I think it's CMC, and I don't think it's close at plus 460.
Yeah, like I think that's a good value pick for this spot. But I also think that when you look at it, I'm gonna take Mahomes because I think the Chiefs are gonna win this game.
Now, what are the odds on Debo?
Debo is plus 2600.
Give me Debo.
Debo, I
Give
don't
me
mind the
Debo.
Debo pick.
I think he's gonna have like a pretty slow
He
game.
should have a pretty.
I'd
we'll have to wait and
not.
see. Anytime touchdown score. Christian McCaffrey is minus 210.
Yeah, that's terrible value.
Pacheco
I mean, he's
is
going to score, but that's terrible value.
Pacheco minus 120. Kelsey's plus 100. Rasheed Rice plus 145. Samuel's plus 155. Ayuk is plus 170. George Kittle's plus 190. Mahomes is plus 440 as for a rushing touchdown or receiving touchdown. Edwards Hilaire is plus 600, and then we get into it. The defenses, the Niners' defense to score is plus 700. The Chiefs is plus 850. So if anybody has any predictions on some anytime scores, help build your parlay up for a little bit of value.
Kelsey at plus 100 is probably closest to a lock, I'd guess, for a decent value.
I like Deebo Samuel at plus 155. I think he's going to score. I think he's going to score today.
I like George Kittle a lot. What did you have him at?
He is plus 190.
Okay. He's moved down from what I'm looking at. They have him at plus 175.
This is weird. These are not very high. I get anytime scores, and there's a lot of weapons on these teams, but this kind of gives me the impression that they think it's going to be a high-scoring game for this many players to only be within plus 200 for anytime touchdown, because at that point you got three. That's seven. You have seven players. You have seven players, and that's seven.
If I'm looking for value, though, I don't hate Noah Gray at plus 900.
I was going to say
I don't even know if you mentioned him.
He's not even on here.
Yeah, at plus 900, I don't hate Noah Gray.
You took my pick.
Because I think they're going to double
Kelsey,
they're going to double Kelsey in the zone. I also don't hate
I like Jawan Jennings at, I believe, plus 650.
There's odds out there I've seen, not the Merrifield Sportsbook, unfortunately, we don't have the algorithm for it yet, of setting lines for which players will outplay each other, like Jawan Jennings and Noah Gray. Yeah. You can bet on the line of who will have more receptions.
And the answer is Noah Gray. So much. And he's not even the favorite to win that. That's plus money. Yeah. Hammer that. Same thing with if you want to sprinkle something on a long shot. Wait, do you have longest reception? Player with the longest reception on there?
No.
Okay. MVS.
Oh, for sure.
But he's plus 400.
All right, let's get moving. I didn't realize how many picks are on here.
Keep it moving.
Because we have some fun stuff we have to get to.
Oh, yeah.
We were last at passing touchdowns. We have Mahomes over under 1.5, Purdy over under 1.5. I think Mahomes over is the play.
Purdy under.
Purdy is close. He probably might get 2, but Mahomes, the Chiefs are gonna have to throw the football.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I actually disagree.
Interesting.
We can get more into it in the actual game. I disagree with that. But
okay.
We have some singing for the national anthems, and we have Lift Every Voice and Sing. They'll be sung by Andre Day. Post Malone is singing America the Beautiful. Why?
He has a beautiful voice.
I can't wait. My grandmother's going to crap her pants when she sees Post Malone on her television screen this afternoon.
I'm sure.
So anyways, the over-under on the length of America the Beautiful by Post Malone is 1:45.
Over. Post is going to
sell it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Give me. I'm going to go away from that. I'm going to go with the under here.
Okay. What about you, Joe?
Yeah, I'm feeling the under too.
I don't know how long America the Beautiful is. But
I don't either.
The national anthem is about 2 minutes, and I don't think America the Beautiful is that long.
No.
So I love America the Beautiful. It should be the national anthem. Now we get to the national anthem sung by Rebecca McEntire.
Did you say Rebecca McEntire?
Reba
McEntire.
Reba McEntire. Excuse me. Sorry,
Rebecca
Reba.
McEntire.
Sorry, Reba. My bad. Over under.
I mean, her name probably is Rebecca.
We have 3 bets for the national anthem. We have the length of the national anthem. Over under minute 30. It's plus 105 for the over, minus 130 for the under.
Okay.
Will any player or coach cry during the anthem? Yes or no? And will any scoring drive take, or this one will wait until after, but over under, and will a player cry?
Okay.
Nick Bosa is probably most likely to cry there.
He's such an American patriot.
Yeah, very American patriot.
No one's crying during the anthem, I don't think.
I think Purdy's going to cry.
I forgot Nick Sirianni is not playing, but
he's not coaching.
He's not coaching in it. Kelsey, Travis Kelsey might shed a tear. Get some brownie points with Taylor.
I don't know.
He's
been here a lot
Vegas, maybe,
recently. But also back to the national anthem. I'm going to go under. She's older, weak lungs. She's going to try to get it done quick.
It's close. This is a much lower line than it was last year.
I love the under here. If you look at, and this is going to be weird, but people on TikTok are sickos and did a lot of research. If you listen to her other national anthems that she's done, like NBA Finals and some of these other stuff, she's well under. She's really quick.
Sure,
Keep in mind, I timed it last year Michigan State women's basketball played on Super Bowl Sunday as well. I timed it last year at the Breslin. The Spartan Brass did it in 1:04.
There you go.
So now keep in mind, that's the band not trying to sell it.
No,
it's not the Super Bowl. So keep that in mind. That is a base length of the national anthem is 1:04.
Yeah.
I think it goes over 1:30. It'll be close, but I think 1:30 at -115. Wait, it's plus 105 to go over. So I'm going to take the little bit of value and go over. Will any scoring drive take less time than it takes to sing the national anthem?
Ooh, I like that prop.
Yes is
That's
minus
fun.
185. No is plus 140.
No, there's gonna be more running in this game than people think.
I'm going to go no. But I love that prop.
I'm going to go no as well. I can't believe that's plus money. But I feel like because it's going to be less than a 2-minute drive. So, but I guess it's a field goal. So even like a turnover and
a field goal could be,
that's so. Joe, do you have a pick? Yes or no?
Yeah, I'm just gonna say yes.
You're gonna say yes on the minus money?
Yeah, change it a little bit.
All right. Coin toss, heads or tails?
Tails. Tails never fails.
I'm going to go tails, but I'm going to rant about this real quick.
Okay.
Why? Because it's no actual heads or tails, which
No.
I kind of
No.
hate because
Because
it's a
it is-
commemorative coin.
Because of the fact that people are throwing insane amounts of money on that at minus 110 odds for both heads and tails, and it's literally a 50-50 coin flip.
It is a coin.
You are
it
losing
quite literally is a coin flip.
You are losing value no matter what.
Yeah.
Why are people throwing? Somebody put $50,000 on heads. What are you doing?
It's like the worst bet.
Like legitimately
ever.
the worst value
Like
bet
it's
you
funny
can
to
ever
throw
get.
like maybe like $5 on it and be like, oh, I lost, but like, there's no point to.
There is legitimately
throw
no
ridiculous
value
money
there
on this,
at
yeah,
all.
no.
All right, let's keep it moving.
I'm gonna say heads on that one real quick. Matthew Slater
Okay,
picked that in the
got
Super
it,
Bowl. It's
Got
cool.
it. Punting. Will any punt result in a touchback? Yes is plus 130. No is minus 160. How confident are we feeling in Wisnowski? And I don't know who the
Will
key
any punt result in a touchback?
yes.
Yes,
Definitely yes.
Wisnowski will definitely kick it. Yeah, through the back of the end zone.
Yeah, I think yes. I'm shocked that's plus.
Yes
money
is
for you.
plus 130.
Yeah.
Interestingly enough. Let's see. First penalty. Holding is plus 130.
It's going to be holding on Juwan Taylor.
I think it'll be false start on Juwan Taylor at plus 140.
Juwan Taylor's going to have it either way.
Offsides or encroachment is plus 290, or neutral zone infraction. Delay of game is plus 405, and the field is plus 475. So anything that wasn't listed. Pass interference is plus 500. Any personal foul, unsportsmanlike conduct, plus
Is
650.
kick out of bounds on there? Because
No.
kick out of bounds on the opening kickoff would be an electric
No
value, but I'm not
penalties.
taking out
Yeah.
the field.
No penalties all game is plus 10,000.
Put $1 on it.
Put $1 on it.
Put $1 on it to win $1,000. No, that's definitely not happening.
some of the
so if you
people-
want to donate your $1 to the Merrifield Sportsbook, go ahead.
To some of the people's favorites, we got Gatorade Bath.
Yep.
The blue,
Nobody made their pick, did they? Oh, you did.
I
False
did
start.
the Juwan Taylor.
Oh, Juwan Taylor, I'm
Holding,
sorry.
yeah, but
I'm gonna go with a pass interference.
plus 500.
Yeah.
Some value. What are we
Yeah.
thinking, Joe, for a first penalty?
First penalty. Oh, dude, that one's tied. So how many penalties are included in the against the field? Is that everything?
Everything not mentioned.
Everything that wasn't below. So holding, false start, offsides, and delay a game are not included in the field. The rest are the field. So pass interference.
I think it's got to be an
personal
offsides to start.
foul. Okay,
though.
so that is plus 290. So
Yeah.
watch for a
and that
sneaky
includes
face
encroachment
mask.
and neutral zone infractions as well.
Nice. Yeah,
So-
I'm comfortable with that
Sneaky
pick.
face
I feel like one
mask.
person's
Sneaky
gonna get
face
too excited on the defensive end.
Yeah, and Gatorade Bath. Blue is the favorite at plus 300, along with orange at plus 300 as well. You have purple at plus 350. Clear/water is plus 375. Lime or green or yellow, whichever you just want to call it. It's yellow. Is plus 400, and then red is plus 400 as well.
Give me yellow. Lock that in.
Yeah, it feels like lemon lime is almost all. I feel like
Lemon
it's
lime's
got-
the best
I'm
Gatorade.
gonna say
flavor.
red.
I'm going orange
Gotta go.
either way.
I was thinking orange as well.
I'm surprised red is plus 400 when both teams wear red.
Yeah,
but
I,
red Gatorade
but
sucks.
I think, yeah, I think it's plus 400 because I know the Chiefs like to
Red Gatorade's bad.
The Chiefs like to go orange, I believe. They went orange. I can't remember. They went orange their first Super Bowl. So if they win, obviously orange is on the table once again. So I'm gonna go with orange. How many times? I have some miscellaneous bets. These are something. How many times will Roger Goodell be shown? This is from kickoff to final whistle.
Twice.
Over unders 1.5.
I'm gonna take the over.
Yeah, twice.
Yes
So over.
or yeah.
Yeah, definitely over.
Over. Okay. Will there be a score in the first minute of the game?
No.
Plus 1,200 is yes. No is minus 6,600.
Yeah, no.
No.
I mean that's terrible value.
Terrible value,
but
but-
no.
Nah.
Neither team's scoring in the first minute.
This is so funny because Nick Burt doesn't know this, Joe. I don't want to dox you, but I learned this information about you after you went to Indiana. What will happen to the price of Bitcoin during the Super Bowl?
Oh, goodness.
Well,
Dude, I sold. We made 100. I regret selling immediately on my birthday.
You sold your Bitcoin.
I saw that I made like $100 right there. Sold all of it 5 minutes after I got seller's remorse. Was sitting there like trying to buy it back. Just terrible.
I heard about your Bitcoin endeavors, and I didn't even realize this was on
For
here.
a good month, every day my mood was decided of whether it was green or red. The day was decided in the morning when I looked at my phone.
Oh, goodness.
Well, what will happen to the price of Bitcoin in the Super Bowl? To go up, it's minus 150. If the price goes down, it's plus 115.
I
Pray
couldn't
to
have
God
the
it goes down again. I need to
faintest
buy more,
idea.
man.
Give me down.
It's been going up all day. Ever since I've sold it, it's gone up, man. It's terrible. I really hope it goes down again so we can put all the money back in.
Jeez.
Yeah, I legitimately could not have less of an idea.
What
The biggest thing, you need diamond hands. Whatever you do, don't sell your Bitcoin. You know, hold on, man. That's the biggest thing. Can't have paper
Diamond
mache
hands.
hands.
This is
Welcome
this
to the Green
segment
and
has
White
gone
Report.
off the
Welcome
rails.
to the Green and White Report, where Matt Merrifield is your gambling expert and Joe Dez is your future financial advisor with your Bitcoin.
Oh, goodness.
Anyways, I'm going the price will go up at minus 150 anyways.
Sure.
Will any player record an octopus, which for
Oh,
those
I
that
love
don't know,
it, but I'm going to say
score a
no.
touchdown and then also convert on the 2-point they have to score
Yeah.
the 2-point conversion.
I don't like the player to have an octopus.
Yes is plus 900. No is minus 2,900.
Such bad value, but I'm going to say no.
Yes.
If somebody's going to do it, it's going to be Travis Kelce.
Yes. Rasheed Rice.
Nah, it's gonna be either CMC or Deebo Samuel if somebody does it.
It could be Sam. I think
it could be either one of those two guys.
I guess. There's some players that I wish you could bet individual players. Maybe we'll look into that. What will happen
At, like,
first?
Plus 8,000 for any individual player that you look at.
What will happen first? A live shot of Taylor Swift or either team scores a touchdown?
Taylor Swift.
Yeah, it's minus 250 that they show Taylor.
That's only minus 250.
At only minus
Because-
It's definitely Taylor.
There's still a question. if
This is
she's
from
she's gonna
kickoff-
be there, but like
from kickoff,
people are gonna
want to
know if she's there, so they'll show her
But
before
they're gonna show her,
kickoff. Yeah.
but right, but that doesn't
Oh,
count. It has to be
okay.
during the game. Kickoff to final whistle.
It depends on who gets the ball first.
Like
I
Kelsey
guess
catches
it-
a pass, it's
I
over.
hope she doesn't, because all the annoying people that say she's on too much, like,
yeah.
I want to be vindicated. But
vindicated.
but probably yes. Probably.
It's gonna be. I still think it might be yes, but like if the only way I think it's no is if the Niners get the ball first and march right down the field and score a touchdown. Because if Kelsey's not involved, I don't think they're gonna show Taylor Swift.
Fair. That's fair. I'm gonna go. I mean, you kind of have to take yes at plus 170. Like, I don't think there's any value in Taylor at minus 250, but it'll come down. If I can live bet it after the coin toss, then
There you go.
The line will be get it before the line changes.
None of these bets are available in the state of Michigan, by the way, outside of the Merrifield Sportsbook.
Well, depends on what website you find.
Correct.
There's a. Oh, actually,
We're not going there.
This
Never
bet
mind.
is this bet on here or no? Nick did not include it. Okay, so this wasn't included, but there was a bet we found online yesterday of what will happen first. Will Taylor Swift get a Super Bowl ring, or will she be on the cover of Madden 25? I swear to God, there was a line for that.
Neither thing will happen.
And neither thing will probably happen. Now, the favorite was her to get a Super Bowl ring.
She's
so I
gonna
guess there's
wear
more-
the ring when Kelsey gives it to her. Like, oh, hey babe, try this on.
Hey, babe,
mean,
try this.
I
like
guess
9 months.
she will. In that respect, she is a million times more likely to get a Super Bowl ring than she is to.
They're not gonna
correct.
put a
Like,
non-player
she's
on
not
the
gonna
cover.
and even if they do, it's not gonna be Taylor Swift.
Take it up with this random sports book that's just as fake as Merrifield Sportsbook. I
Yeah,
guess.
clearly.
But except they take your
Maybe
money.
in some crazy world, if they put Kelsey on there, I like
no chance. No way.
like maybe.
no
I'm
way.
saying that's.
You know how much money they would have to pay to get her rights to be on the cover? No chance.
Anyways,
I need a Taylor Swift
maybe
song to
they'll-
be on
they-
Madden 25 soundtrack.
She'll sign
next
her
year.
way
That
onto
could
the NFLPA or something stupid. Taylor Swift bet specifically now. How long after kickoff will Taylor be shown based on the game clock? So over under 7.5 minutes. So
Under.
Under.
Under is minus 175.
Under.
Over is plus 135.
Yeah, 7 minutes is a lot of time.
Yeah.
Under.
Especially game time. That's multiple drives potentially, or one drive.
Half
really.
a quarter. She's getting shown before then.
Yeah. Under.
Okay. How long will Taylor Swift be shown live? Kickoff to final whistle. Will the total of her camera time be over under 30 seconds? Under is minus 110. Over is plus 250. I don't understand that logic on that
she's
line.
saying no. She's going to be over 30 seconds.
Well, shown live.
Maybe it's minus 250.
I believe she's been under in all these playoff games, but it's a Super Bowl. She's probably gonna be over. Yeah,
okay.
Under 30 seconds. 30 seconds doesn't feel that long.
But they really don't show her that long.
No,
it's really
a quick second.
It's her,
and then
her
it's
and
back.
Mama Kelsey doing their clapping, and then it's back to football. Like, to be completely fair, of a 3 and 4 hour broadcast, 30 seconds is not that long.
She's on for
it's not.
Yeah.
So, will Taylor Swift be shown after the Chiefs' first touchdown? Yes is minus 400.
So if
No is plus 250. She just has to be shown on TV after the Chiefs score their first
the
TD.
question is, will Travis Kelce score the first Chiefs touchdown?
No, I think they're going to show her
they'll
either
probably
way.
show
You
her
think so?
Yeah, I do.
Well, because if she's next to Mahomes, to Brittany Mahomes,
I don't think it matters. I think they will show her because she's going to be celebrating, and they're going to want to use that.
yeah, probably. I'll go no, but I can see the yes.
All right, 3 bets left. Taylor Swift shown during broadcast live shots. She gets, how many times will she be shown? Over, under, 5.5 times.
Over.
Over is minus 200. Under is plus 150.
I'm going to go over.
And it's going to be right at 6, so it's going to barely get over.
Just wait till the Swifties find out you can bet on this crap. Sports books are going to go insane.
Yeah, they are.
They don't have any money after the
ask-
Eras Tour tickets that they all paid for.
Oh, God.
Fair enough.
All right. Do we have any? Did anybody else say over, under?
Oh,
I went
yeah.
over.
I'll say over.
Okay, over 5.5. Next, Taylor Swift song to be used to go to a commercial break. The hero, the leader is Anti-Hero at plus 250. Shake It Off at plus 275. Bad Blood at plus 350. You Belong With Me at plus 350. Look What You Made Me Do at plus 475. Blank Space at plus 500. And I Knew You Were Trouble at plus 550.
I don't like any of them to be played, to be honest with you. I don't think they do.
They're going to play Cruel Summer.
Cruel Summer. In what context would they play Cruel Summer?
Because that's like her most popular song of this year. Like,
I'd bet Shake It Off by far, to be real. That's
I think
song
if
they'd play
any of them
after.
are going to be played, that one, but I don't think any of them will.
Yeah, I'd be really shocked
I would be surprised if
do
they
that.
play one of her songs. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to go with the favorite Anti-Hero. I think, especially after a CMC touchdown and after like a Travis Kelce fumble or something, it's a perfect narrative push.
Oh, goodness. How many more we got?
2 more.
Okay.
Actually, no, wait, no, 1 more.
Okay.
1 more. This is it. Will Travis Kelce
Propose on the field?
propose to Travis?
No,
No.
they've been together for like months, right?
No is minus 2,000 plus
no.
820 he does.
The NFL wants that to happen.
Okay, publicly they've been together for only a couple months. Keeping that in
They
mind.
I'm pretty sure.
he gave her the bracelet like early in the season, so it's probably
I don't
it's probably
particularly
been like
care,
4 or 5
to be
months.
honest. Yeah. No, I'm out on that.
No? Okay. I think it's no.
There's-
I wouldn't bet it, but
There's more of a chance that the
Stay advised.
Kelce's dual retire than that happens.
You guys are just throwing away your chance at free money here. It's obviously yes.
yes, Joe's here for it.
Joe has taken the highest odds on everything all day long.
Well,
The value, one of them's going to hit, and it's going to cover
All he is
everything.
one.
Joe Dez just needs one, otherwise he's going to be wishing that he had not sold his Bitcoin yesterday because
Yeah,
he's going
for
to be
real.
so down money today.
thank you all for following along. It was a blast. Every year I
Yes.
enjoy coming on and coming up with these prop bets, and Nick Burt did a great job helping put this together. So thank you
Yes.
to all those involved. And remember, if you have a problem with gambling, 1-800-GAMBLER is
Yes.
the number. Please get help if you need it.
Yes.
But stay advised. Enjoy. Biggest gambling day of the year. Have some fun. Sprinkle little bets here and there if you'd like. Some value, some fun stuff as we talked about. Some of these lines might not be real. Some of them are. But there's something for everybody, which is the best part
There
about
you go.
Super Bowl gambling.
There's something for everybody for you to bet on, but not at the
and make
Merrifield
the
Sportsbook.
Merrifield Sportsbook some money potentially. Hey, my Venmo's out there. You can send me it, and I'll place
You
it
can
for
find
you. But hey, anyways, and yeah, that's our gambling. That's the Merrifield Sportsbook Super Bowl prop
So
bet.
let's move away from the gambling side and into some nostalgia a little bit. We're going to have to go quickly with
Love
these because we're
nostalgia.
a little behind. But let's give a couple just favorite Super Bowl memories from all of you guys. We'll go, just give 2 and go just straight through. You don't have to wait for anybody else. So go, Matt, why don't you start with your 2?
My 2 favorite Super Bowl memories.
Yes.
Obvious. I think. Jack, you go.
Okay.
I need
The first one that came to
ponder.
mind is the first Super Bowl that I actually remember is Super Bowl 43, and I remember the lights going out during that game. That was the Ravens-Niners, the Harbaugh Bowl.
So you don't remember the one that I'm going to talk about then? Okay, understood. Go ahead.
But
It's
yeah,
the first Super Bowl I remember, so I guess
have
it makes
one.
sense because
You are older.
I am
than me.
older than you.
I
so-
am a youngling here.
Yeah,
Yes.
go ahead. One more.
Oh, and then I remember the Malcolm Butler interception in Super Bowl 49. And I remember they had announced that my school was going to have a snow day the day after.
Mm-hmm.
The day after, and that was before, like during the game. So I was like, "Oh, sweet! Like I get to watch Super Bowl, and then I don't have school tomorrow." Like
Electricity.
Yeah.
Top 5 feeling of all time.
yeah, it's up there for sure.
This one really stands out to me because it was the year of the Malcolm Butler catch. So that was the same season, I believe, as the Odell Beckham catch during the regular season. I believe those were the same season where he had the incredible catch.
Yes.
Jermaine Kearse's catch on that drive would have been the greatest catch of all time had the Seahawks scored. Like had they punched it in, that catch would be remembered forever.
It would be remembered better than the David Tyree catch, but that catch is remembered well because they won the
helmet
game.
catch. Yeah, I mean, and then the other one, I mean, watching. There's something about like it was similar to the comeback that the Niners had last week, where the 28-3. Obviously, I know that's probably Joe's favorite Super Bowl memory, but like the catch, like when Edelman,
got a big
like,
smile on
I
his face.
still remember Julian Edelman on the catch, similar to the David Tyree catch or the Jermaine Kearse catch, where it bobbled and then he just trapped it inches or even centimeters before the ball touched the ground. Like stuff like
So
that.
impressive.
Just so impressive. And when a player makes a catch like that, you have to believe how can they not win this game? Similar to the play last week when the ball went off of Vildor's head 2 weeks ago.
And
Like
how you
when that
caught it.
ball was right into Ike's head, like God wants him to win this football game. Like there's nothing you can do, Detroit. There's nothing you can do, Atlanta.
there
The Patriots are coming back, and there's nothing you can do to stop it. So those are just two incredible catches that just stand in my mind. And it's just like, I mean, I don't know. The Colts haven't been in the Super Bowl at any time that I remember. I don't remember the last when they played the Saints, other than Drew Brees' quote-unquote stupid baby. That's Pat McAfee's words, not mine. But other than that, I don't know. Hopefully the Colts will be back playing the Lions soon or something.
Yeah, Matt, you spoiled mine, Matt.
I'm sorry. I realized
mean-
I'm going to bring up 28-3. Joe's going to be like, hey, you have like seven
I mean,
others you
I
can
know,
talk
I know.
about.
People know he's a Patriots fan. It was
Yeah.
pretty.
Pick any other one.
Yeah.
My favorite
Nick
one.
Foles go burr.
My favorite one. I said that we were going to move away from the gambling, but this is kind of gambling. When I was younger, we did Super Bowl squares with my family. The first Super Bowl I remember watching was and I won in Super Bowl squares on Santonio Holmes' game-winning catch. That won me the Super Bowl squares. So that was an electricity.
I wish I
factory.
remember that.
If I
stayed
remember
up
right, I
in-
won Super Bowl squares on Super Bowl 51.
Love to see
28-3 one, dude. Yeah.
Yeah. Can I request tonight? Because last year's Super Bowl was really good. Like we got a really nice Super
Really
Bowl
good
last
game,
year,
yeah.
except for the ending. Like it was a little anticlimactic
Because
with
of
the
the-
holding call. Like I want a just like
Last
Ref-
year's Super Bowl was electric.
it was
though,
electric,
Start to finish.
literally up until that holding call when it was like, all right, the Chiefs are going to hold out the clock and kick an anticlimactic chip shot field goal. Like I don't know, let's not have it be a ref show, please.
Well,
Just
one moment
for
I-
once.
One moment for the Super Bowl I want to bring up because we talked about 28-3, talked about Malcolm Butler. Those were going to be both mine. The 28-3 Super Bowls we
You
got.
still
me.
have like four others. You can
I
pick
know,
from,
I know.
Joe.
But also, this one isn't even a Patriots one. This one's just one of the coolest moments to me. Tom Brady trash talking Tyrann Mathieu during that Chiefs game. Chiefs Bucks.
It's not a
What that-
Patriots one, but it's still Tom
Still,
Brady.
still Tom Brady.
Still Tom
yeah,
Brady.
of course. Yeah. All the best Super Bowl moments are
there-
Tom Brady for being
There
real.
was a guy at Yoast on Friday night wearing
Yes, David Tyree.
Don't say that, man. Don't say that.
God. There was a guy at Yoast on Friday night wearing the pewter gray Buccaneers Super Bowl Tom Brady jersey. Like why? It had
Why
the
not?
patch on there. I'm like, what are you wearing that for? I'm like, why do you own that? Then again, I have a Bo Nix jersey and an Isak Paredes jersey, so I guess I
You have
really
an
can't.
Isak Paredes jersey?
I have a I will wear it on next Wednesday for our jersey meeting. I need to make a decision on what I'm going to wear.
That's so
So
electric.
I have some tough decisions. I have some incredible jerseys in the collection.
I'm probably going to rock a Brooklyn Dodgers Jackie Robinson jersey.
But I have a San Jose Sharks reverse retro jersey with Evgeny Nabokov on the back as well. That might be my prized possession. But anyways, what was the other Super Bowl memory I have? It was Patriots, or not Patriots. It was Peyton Manning when he ended his career against the Panthers. That was a cool Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Cam Newton.
That was the year after they got obliterated by Seattle,
Absolutely.
right?
No, that was 2 years.
2 years after. Yeah.
Oh,
that was
you guys
bad.
want to hear a real quick funny story about the Super Bowl? So while we talked about betting, me and my friends, we had just turned 18. We were about to bet on the Rams versus Bengals Super Bowl. Went to the casino. We bet. Half my friends, including me, placed bets on just money line Bengals to win. they don't win, obviously. My other half, my friends, place their bets on the Rams to cover. They don't cover. All of us lost our bets.
You have to be 18. You have to be 18.
That's what I was wondering.
Well, it's Rhode Island. Rhode
In
Island's
person.
18.
In person.
He drove to Rhode
We
Island.
drove to Rhode Island. Yeah, Mass is a bit different.
You know what? If I want to bad enough, I'll just drive to Mount Pleasant. But,
Yeah.
You can
I was
get the
disappointed when I
Soaring
learned that you
Eagle.
have to be 21 in this state to sports gamble online. It's stupid. But
Anyways,
I thought it was 18 when I turned 18. I
Excited.
I downloaded a sportsbook app because Michigan State played Youngstown State that afternoon. I was like, I'm going to bet on the over. Just like put on $5. And
the
just
over did not hit that day, did it?
It did it. Because Michigan State won like 49-7. The over under was like 40
they won
something.
42-14. I just assumed that the over wasn't 40.
It was in the 40s or something like that.
I mean, I guess that makes sense. People didn't know that 21 team had no offense at that point.
But anyway, but then I was like, you are not old enough. And I was like, this is BS.
L. Anyways, let's move into actually talking about, the game on the field. It's a rematch of the Super Bowl in 2020. Kansas City had to beat Miami, Buffalo, and Baltimore to get here. San Francisco came back against Detroit and Green Bay. What's the keys to this game?
Jack, you're our NFL correspondent. Feel free to start.
So I think a big key, I alluded to it earlier, I think running the ball is going to be really important because I look at that Niners defense and there's really not a lot of flaws in there, not a lot of holes, but I do think you can run the ball on them. So I hope that, I hope for Casey's point, if they want to win the game, is they have to just drive with Isaiah Pacheco. So I think whoever can effectively run the ball the best, I think is going to be the winner of the game. You can say that with nearly all NFL games,
right.
But that's my key is running the ball.
I think controlling the line of scrimmage obviously is always important. Keeping your quarterback upright on both sides of the ball. We'll see if Chase Young decides to show up and play because he picks and chooses, and it's the Super Bowl, so you'd think he'd show up. But then again, Cam Newton didn't jump on the fumble.
Yeah.
And Super Bowl 50. So
some people aren't made for it.
Some people just the moments lights are too bright, piss down their leg. It just happens. So
Shout out. What's the guy's name that I'm talking about? The video he makes. What videos I'm talking about?
I know exactly what video you're talking about.
Coach 30 or whatever.
But
shout out him. Electric videos.
But anyways, so if the one Super Bowl the Chiefs have lost was the Super Bowl 21 when the Buccaneers got home. Now there were plumbers and electricians playing left and right tackle.
Yes, they have better
Chiefs
offensive linemen.
So their
now.
offline is much better, and Mahomes should be kept upright. On the other side, Brock Purdy, when he's down under pressure, we saw it in the Ravens game when he under pressure from the edge.
He falls apart.
He falls apart. So if they can keep him upright, now he did a better job when he had more time against Detroit, using his legs, getting out, and making plays. So maybe he's learned from it. Very athletic player. Both quarterbacks have legs that work. It's not like it's a Joe Flacco situation. So I think it'll just come down to which quarterback kind of handles a pass rush the best and makes plays with it. Obviously, I think the Niners have the better weapons, of course, but but they don't have Patrick Mahomes, best player on the planet. So
Yeah, I think it comes down whether the wide receivers for the Chiefs can catch today or not. It's really going to be a lot of that.
is Kadarius Toney playing? Do we know?
I don't think so.
I don't know that they activated him.
Good. Keep him benched.
I'm not
They
sure.
activated
he will.
McKinnon, right? Jarrett McKinnon.
Yes, he is playing.
Oh, I forgot they had McKinnon. Yeah.
Yeah.
He could be we talked about the props. Like he could be a
Yeah, he used to be on the Niners.
Sneaky
He
anytime
played like
touchdown
2 games with them in like 3 years.
Yeah.
Barely. Like, just got paid for them.
Minnesota legend.
Yeah, I think that it's going to have to be about can Kansas City execute, and can they find a way to hang with the offense of San Francisco, which I know sounds weird, but San Francisco's loaded.
Yep.
And so can they hang with them? And if they can, then they're going to have a shot.
Make it close. Kansas City's going to win in a close game, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know what I consider close, like points wise, but it's just hard to in these close games. Like you can't bet against Mahomes.
I am
You
firmly
can't.
of the belief that 1.5 is a useless spread.
Yeah, it's
Always. And so it is
it's basically a coin flip. It really is.
yeah, if you're gonna take 1.5, I would suggest just taking. If you're gonna take Kansas City plus
money
1.5,
line.
take the money line at plus money. But as we disclaimed earlier, if you have a gambling problem, 1-800 gambler. But yeah, if you just gotta find a way to win the game if you're Kansas City, and I think they can do that. And I can't bet against Mahomes, especially not as an underdog.
100%.
I mean, there's nothing else really to it. I mean, I'm rooting for San Francisco in this game. They're the team I want to win, and it's not because I have heard people say I want the Niners to win because it makes the Lions' loss look better. Today has nothing to do with that. The Lions were a conference championship level team. They could have gone on and won a Super Bowl, but I think like we talked about last week, they had a very good season. They should be very proud of what happened. Don't worry about what happens tonight. Just have fun. Enjoy your Super Bowl party. Don't not throw one because the Lions should be there. There's 29 other fan bases that are in the same boat as you that have to sit at home and watch. You've had to sit at home and watch since the very first Super Bowl.
They are very used to it, so just do what you do
different
usually.
From any other year. It's not like you're a Patriots fan where it's like, I'm here so often, why do I care this year? Like, that makes more sense.
I will not name names and call somebody out, but
You
I
can
do
call
know
people
someone.
out.
No, I won't. But I do know someone that was not a big sports person that asked me and that believed for a long time that the Super Bowl was just the best team got to play against the Patriots. Like,
Really?
So that's how dominant the Patriots were.
I mean, yeah. I mean, as we boost Joe's fandom.
Yes,
he
as we boost you guys.
feels so great about
Zach, I
himself.
was really hoping you guys
how's
say I'm
your
not going to
quarterback
call anyone out and then call me out right after. I know a Patriots fan who goes to MSU has been really annoying, but not.
How's your quarterback situation going, Joe?
That's going great right now.
great?
We got a top
Going
3
great?
pick. Yeah, got top 3 pick.
Wait, who are you taking?
Caleb's going to fall.
You want Anthony Richardson?
Caleb's gonna fall.
Caleb's
gonna
gonna
fall.
fall. You're wild.
That's insane.
You want
You
Anthony?
guys- You guys are gonna have Jaden Daniels, and you're gonna like it.
No, I don't want Jaden
want Anthony-
Daniels.
They're
gonna trade.
You don't
the
want
pick.
Jaden Daniels.
If we draft him, I'll
They're
welcome
going
him
to
completely.
trade the pick.
Yeah, we're taking Joe Alt, number 7.
Who's
We're
the
gonna trade
Broncos
back.
trade up.
Who's the quarterback at like West Carolina? That's your guy. That's who you're gonna take.
West Carolina?
I don't
North
know,
Car-
like West Carolina,
Talking about
South
Not-
Carolina?
not North Carolina, not South Carolina. They're gonna take like
No,
a
Western
that's-
Carolina.
Oh, you're not
Western
talking about Drake May.
No, I'm talking about like
Okay,
the Catamounts, or he's gonna go to like Lenore Ryan and find a quarterback like Kyle Duggar or Kyle Duggar.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we're going D3.
We're going D3 level quarterbacks.
love
Kurt
the,
Warner, Joe
Yep.
Flacco type beat.
Got a guy out Plymouth State University's
Exactly.
roster up in New Hampshire. He's going to be really good.
Didn't Pat or Belichick skip the combine to go watch somebody at Middle Tennessee work out in the rain, and that kid got cut before camp even started?
I believe so.
I believe
yeah.
like people were like, "Oh my god, this kid must be something," and then
That's electric.
Nothing.
I think that's hilarious.
Though. Yeah.
But anyways,
It's a rough year for me. Just everyone at home who thinks it's a bad year for you, 10 times worse for me.
why?
Because you only have the best NBA team in the league.
Only got great years for 10 years.
You still have the Bruins and the Celtics. Yeah, the Red Sox suck, but like deal with it.
I'm not even a baseball fan, so it works
Good.
great for me, dude.
I mean, I love baseball, but that's fine. I don't need one more Red Sox fan in my life.
Oh, did you? I'm wearing I shouldn't have said that, as I'm wearing a Red Sox sweatshirt right now.
He is
You
wearing
actually-
a
I
Red
shouldn't
Sox
have admitted I'm a
sweatshirt,
fraud here,
but,
dude.
Yeah, it is what it is. The Red Sox are not going to be great, but Boston sports will survive.
Yeah, you
I
guys-
believe in them.
I
The
believe it.
Celtics have kept me afloat all year. I was really.
Xavier Tillman, Celtics legend.
Take care of X for us, please.
Yeah,
He's-
but no, I don't know. I think Kansas City wins this game. I think that Brock Purdy down the stretch against Detroit made a lot of big plays. But can he do that again today with everything on the line and playing against the best player in the league?
I don't know. I don't think it's when you're Brock Purdy, the mindset can't be to try and outplay Patrick Mahomes, because that's not number one. He can't.
Right.
When Patrick Mahomes is on his game, there's nobody better in the world. There's never been anybody better than Patrick Mahomes, especially when he's playing at the highest level. So for Purdy,
You
it's
gave Joe Dez a mic today, and you're going to make that claim?
That's great. Did you see Tom Brady talking about how athleticism is kind of a fluke thing, man? If a quarterback has to run on the play, he probably made the wrong read, and that's true.
yeah,
Ooh.
Yeah, watch
okay.
the video.
That's because Tom was not an athlete.
He won 6
He's
Super
jealous
Bowls, man.
of these quarterback
Jealous
fans.
of going to
He
10
doesn't
Super
have
Bowls,
any.
win 6
Okay.
of them, win 7 of them,
I was
being
gonna
the
say,
greatest
didn't he
QB
win
of all
and
time.
the first
man.
thing I think of is his combine picture where he was looking
Yeah,
a
that- I
little
don't-
flubby, little
Yeah, you know,
little Mac Jones.
Wouldn't that, if
action.
anything, prove his point? How do you become the greatest quarterback of all time if you can't run?
By not being the only person on your team.
being a
I
check.
agree that he is. I'm not going to go there. I agree that Tom Brady is still the greatest
I like
quarterback of all
Taylor
time,
Holmes
but
stuff
I
against
don't.
Brady, though. But Mahomes had Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce to start his whole career.
I never said that he.
Yeah,
didn't.
but he's still in the Super Bowl now without Tyreek
And
Hill.
that was more of a point against
But
Matt because
my
he's the
statement
best of all
was
time.
that, or my thing about it is, I think that there is still a very legitimate argument to be made for the style of play was different. So a quarterback having to run in today's era is completely different than a quarterback having to run in Brady's time, especially at the beginning of Brady's time. I know he retired 2 years ago, but like when Brady was coming in, it's different now because a lot of these runs are designed runs or RPOs, and it's part of the play for them to run, not, he just made the wrong read. Like
he was specifically talking about scrambling. Like when the play breaks down, you scramble out of the play. That means you didn't switch to the right defensive coverage.
My argument for the Patrick Mahomes thing, too, is people talk about he hasn't done enough yet. Like, what else do you want to see from him? Like, we know he can make any throw on a football field that nobody else in the league can. I mean, yes, Josh Allen has a cannon of an arm, so does Anthony Richardson, but they can't. They don't have Herbert. Herbert might be the closest one when it comes to accuracy, but he still isn't Patrick Mahomes level. Any throw anywhere on the field, Mahomes can throw it and throw it on a dot right where it needs to be placed. He wins games. He has the record to follow it. He's won Super Bowls. So I don't know. I
don't think you could. I don't think people should say that the problem with Mahomes is he hasn't done enough. I think it's whether he can do it for 20 years.
Fair. Okay. I mean, I can understand that. Like if he's still here in 10 years doing the same thing. I mean, at that point, you kind of have to acknowledge it. It's kind of like a LeBron Jordan situation, I guess, because people for a while were like LeBron he doesn't have the rings, he hasn't done enough. Now at this point, he's 40 years old and he's still dropping. What is he averaging this year? Like 25, 8, and 8 or something like that.
Ridiculous.
Like, that's ridiculous. Like that's all-star level play, and he's 40 years old, and he's been doing it since he came in the league at 18 years old. So I guess that from that standpoint, I can kind of understand that.
LeBron has more All-Stars than I have years lived on Earth.
With Brady, the lack of athleticism.
Insane.
It's not lack of athleticism. It's lack of arm talent. Like, not that he had a bad arm. That's not what I'm saying at all, because he made every throw. He was a very accurate passer, but he can't make the throws that Mahomes had. And at no point in Brady's career could he make the throws that Mahomes could.
When he was on the Bucks, dude, when he was 39 years old, he led the league in deep ball percentage, throws, yards, all of it, dude. His arm is nasty. People like to say that about Brady because he started checking down. He checked down because it was the right play to make. He'd get the 5 yards.
Right. I mean, we don't see the Chiefs taking as many deep shots down to Kadarius Toney because he can't catch the football like Tyreek Hill.
MVS is their deep threat.
And he can't catch.
He can't catch either, so it doesn't really matter. Check down to Isaiah Pacheco before he goes. And I feel bad for the turf at Allegiant Stadium.
Hardest runner of all time.
Yeah.
They're going to need to bring in new turf for the second half because Pacheco's just going to have stop marks all over it.
Jesus. But
he's got like really short strides. That's why it looks that way, right? Is that
his feet just.
He gets the high knees going.
He's like was it Jeffrey Anderson, the referee?
Yes, it's Jeffrey Anderson. That's my favorite Twitter account. I love it.
That's an electric one.
He works every single night. How badly are we lacking referees in college basketball?
His schedule is crazy.
Or is he such a star? Everybody wants him.
His schedule is insane.
I'm not familiar with his game of a referee. I don't think I have any complaints. It's not Bo Borowski, so it can't be that bad.
Yeah.
But God, I don't know. What commercial are we most looking forward to tonight?
That's a good question.
That's a great question.
You guys see the one with Patrick Stewart that came out?
That was
Paramount?
electric.
That
The
one's
Paramount
fun,
was hilarious.
Saying Paramount coming out and saying Tua is not that guy. He can't make the throw. In cold weather is wild. I thought that was awesome.
That was insane.
I agree, Paramount. I agree.
I mean, you're right, Paramount.
It was really funny, though. I will say, though, I don't like the places that release the Super Bowl commercials early.
No, I don't like that either,
I just think, like, if it's a Super Bowl commercial.
What's worse, and I saw somebody saying this, teaser trailers for your Super Bowl
commercial.
Stupid.
How long are the trailers?
Like it's like a little commercial. It's like a little 15-second ad. It's like 11.
Yeah.
Like no, I'm not tuning in for your stupid commercial. Bud
I
Light.
don't care that
I don't
much.
care. Like when they used to do the thing where like with the Bud Night, where it was like this one part 2 was coming up. I guess it's a trailer, but their first ad was its own ad, and they were just going to build up on it in the Super Bowl. That's fine. But like when you're literally just like 2/11/24. Be there. Like I'm not there for your stupid commercial to sell me your new seltzer. I don't care.
I mean,
I'm there to watch
I
football.
will be there,
eat
but not
buffalo
for
chicken
you.
dip, please, and thank you. So the Super Bowl is just.
Do we have any more things that we need to pick or anything? Or?
I have on here favorite bet from each of us game related. So not like the props that we've talked about earlier, but a game related prep.
I was gonna say it would be cool to do after we could do it after that, like for the last like 2 minutes. It'd be cool to say like what our favorite dish for like, the Super Bowl would be.
Ooh, Super Bowl food.
Okay.
Favorite Super Bowl.
I'm
food.
going home for the Super Bowl.
We can go there first.
I
We can do
can't
Super Bowl favorite Super Bowl food first. Let's do that right now.
Oh, I requested wings tonight from my parents. I need some wings. I'm just glad because the last 2 years I've been here up at school. and I've resorted to just getting pizza for the Super Bowl. It's not a bad option. Like Little Caesars, not a terrible option. It's cheap, but like
It's gonna be so busy though
but like
all the time.
like okay, friendly.
Underrated if you're in Lansing though. Cracked chicken.
Friend-
Underrated
okay.
Super Bowl food.
Friendly advice to people ordering Little Caesars. I know they say they have hot and readies.
They won't.
Order it online in advance. It
Yeah,
will
they
be
won't.
ready for you. If you try and walk in, it won't be. I watched people.
No matter where you are, you're
Doesn't
gonna be
matter.
sitting there for a half
So,
hour at least.
So yeah, just make sure you order in advance. You can pick it up at 6 or whatever. That's my little PSA. But yeah, so enjoy your Super Bowl wherever you will be. Make sure you enjoy it with some friends. Don't hide in the corner because the Lions aren't playing in it. It's stupid. But there's a lot of great Super Bowl food. I'm a fan of it all. There isn't anything I don't like.
Yeah, I'm really excited for the Super Bowl tonight.
Jack, what's your favorite Super Bowl food?
What's my favorite Super Bowl food?
I'm starving. I haven't eaten yet this morning. This is a bad segment.
Correct. Agreed.
Is wings for sure.
You're a wings guy.
You said buffalo chicken dip. That's why I had to ask you about this. It's so good, dude.
I don't like it when there's blue cheese in it, though. I'm not a blue cheese
You don't
guy.
like blue cheese? You're a ranch guy?
I don't like ranch either.
I'm
but
not
ranch,
either,
but in
You
Buffalo,
don't like ranch?
I can't. Ranch is my mortal enemy, but that's
ranch
beside
is
the point.
disgusting.
I hate
Zach,
ranch.
do you like blue cheese, or are you guys both
I
just
don't
no
like
dip
either
wings?
Like
one.
wings, I don't dip my wings.
You guys,
I
so
don't
do you
dip
not
my
dip
wings, but I get sauce on the wings. Like
Who
Yeah,
am I
yeah, no, you're
on
still
the
getting
air
some-
with right now. What?
What? I don't. I mean, I put
Jack,
sauce
I'm not
on it.
okay.
Right, like,
if
I'm
I was
just-
3 against 1 here, man.
Yeah, no.
No, that's wow, really.
I'm not. I don't. I'm not.
At least you get sauce like buffalo sauce,
Right.
so it's not
I
like
mean, I've
dry
got, like,
wings or
barbecue or
anything.
Yeah,
whatever.
I'm not-
like,
You're not doing dry rub.
I'm not a dry rub.
no, I'm not doing dry rub with no sauce. Yeah, no.
Dry rub people scare me.
Yeah.
You're just eating gravel.
You're not a lemon pepper wing guy.
Never
Lemon
tried
pepper is
lemon
actually
pepper.
pretty good. It's not bad.
I've heard
yeah.
good things.
Me and Lou Williams, both of us. Yeah, lemon pepper Lou.
That's wild.
Well, yeah, like buffalo chicken dip. Some recipes put blue cheese and ranch in it. I don't like it when there's blue cheese in it, but if it's just a ranch based, what the hell am I talking about?
No idea.
Anyways, fried green beans are pretty good.
Fried green beans are good. Dude, KFC, weirdly greatest green beans in the world. They're amazing, dude.
KFC mashed
I have
potatoes
not-
low-key
I
slaps,
have-
They're
too.
mashed and mac and cheese, dude. The sides at KFC
When
are
was the
killer.
last time you were in a KFC, Joe?
That's a good
I've
point.
had it like
I haven't had KFC in a long
had
time.
it once in the last like 3 years, dude. It's crazy.
I haven't had
Like,
KFC
The green
in a
beans
long
are
time.
bomb. I haven't been since I got to Michigan State, but like they're bomb. Oh, do we even have one in East Lansing?
we do. That's the last
There's
time
one
I
in
went. Was
Lansing.
like
I don't know if it's in East Lansing.
one in Okemos, next to
Okay.
Meyer.
You ever?
Shout out JMO. Shout out Okemos.
I drove past that and I waved to JMO yesterday on my way back. What else? I'm a mozzarella stick guy. I don't like
big mozzarella
I don't like
stick, yeah.
marinara sauce though.
Do you,
I'm
so you
not
just
a-
not like condiments? But do both of you not like condiments
I
too
like-
much?
I
or-
like- I
Really?
Yeah, what condiments do you guys?
I
I
like
will eat
ketchup.
ketchup. I like
Ketchup's
marinara
fine.
sauce.
Ketchup's
I'm a
fine.
mustard guy. I love mustard.
That's respect. I like
Mustard
mustard.
on a
I
hot
don't
dog.
like mustard at all either.
If you
but
put
I'm
ketchup on your hot
a
dog,
weirdly
it's on
picky
site.
eater.
I like
What?
ketchup.
You don't?
Ketchup on a hot dog is wrong.
Spicy mustard.
I'm not a big hot dog person in general. I eat it a lot in the summers because I'm always at a
Right.
ballpark, but like I don't like.
Oh, good ballpark dog and some
I
mustard.
don't like hot dogs.
Yeah.
Oh,
very
I'm a
much.
mayo guy. I do
Ooh,
like mayo.
Mayo's good. Yeah.
Buffalo sauce, I like.
Nice.
Like, I mean, depends, like a buffalo chicken sandwich or something like that. Yummy. Just not a ranch guy. Ketchup's fine.
Yeah, I need to make sure it wasn't all condiments.
Barbecue sauce.
I think I'm realizing I don't think there's a sauce I don't like.
Yeah, right, dude. I feel like I use condiments all the
Yeah,
time.
and they're all great.
Like there's nothing I can play with. Yeah.
What are we talking about right now?
I don't know.
Oh,
We're all hungry.
Big condiment show, green and white.
Yeah, let's get back to the Super Bowl and finish it off.
Speaking of, so we talked about white mayo. What about relish?
Oh goodness, bro.
I'm not a relish guy. I like pickles, but not a relish guy.
I love pickles though. Pickles are great. But yeah, let's finish up the
You should do your Super Bowl picks.
Yeah, let's make our picks. I'm taking the Chiefs.
I'm taking the Chiefs as well.
Unfortunately, I'm taking the Chiefs. Even
I'm
though
not
rooting for
going.
the Niners.
I'm gonna go Niners. I'm not gonna make a clean sweep.
Okay.
But
I wish you did, so that way I'm wrong and then the Chiefs win or Niners win. I'm happier, but yeah. I mean, we'll see. What bothered us this weekend? I have some stuff. Some journalistic, some non-journalistic.
Go ahead, Matt.
Yeah, you can start, Matt.
Go off.
Just people that don't know how to ask questions at a presser. Like,
Don't get into specifics. Don't call people out.
I'm not
Just
going
let
to
it
call
be.
people out. I don't know. I get not everybody has played a sport, or even when you haven't played the specific sport. Like there's just certain questions about like what was going through your mind during nothing. They're not not thinking about it. Like they're not. You're gonna get a one-word answer, and then you're gonna get if you try to follow it up, you're not gonna get a good answer in response. Certain questions like that. They bother me.
I will say in the play, asking about what someone's thinking while they're playing, but asking about what kind of is going through somebody's head when they're out of the game, like
Right, out of the
after a
game,
shot. Like if somebody were to have asked Draymond Green or Steph Curry, what was going through his head after that ridiculous game winner he hit last
Right,
night.
yeah, after the play.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
But this was literally the puck was on the back door.
Right,
Dylan
I know
Duke
what
had
you're
shot to
saying.
put it home. What
Yeah.
were you thinking? Stop the puck. Like, I don't know. Just that stuff like that bothers me. Other than that, I don't think anything else. I don't know. Michigan's TSA agent bothered me, harassing me, trying to get into the Yost.
Doing her job. Let her be.
I prefer the Breslin people are much friendlier.
Yeah.
I love the people at Breslin.
All right. Anybody else got anything that bothered them?
What else bothered me?
Matt's
Or
got
is
a whole
anybody
list.
going to be happy
A lot of-
today?
I'm happy. Michigan State had a great weekend. Women's basketball is going to win this afternoon. I'm going to be really happy when that happens.
You know, I'll bring this up. Jack would like this. Last night, greatest end of the birthday. I get an Uber home. Someone got it for me. I'm at my place, sitting in the car. Spent like 10 minutes extra talking to this random 6-year-old guy about the Patriots versus Steelers rivalry in the 2010s. It was amazing.
Did you tip him extra because he was?
It
so
wasn't
nice?
much.
I didn't pay for the Ubers. It's,
It
I know.
wasn't much of a rivalry though.
I know, but it was great talk. The guy was recapping Terry Bradshaw, talked about the Immaculate Reception years. 10-minute long talk, amazing talk though.
He lived during those plays.
Yeah, cool guy. He was
Good for
say he was
him.
If
14.
he's 60, then yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, he was 14, walking down the street.
That is
gave
math,
up on
yeah.
the game and found out about the Immaculate Reception. Cool stuff.
cool.
All right. Well, that'll do it for us here in East Lansing. Thank you all for tuning in. It's been a wild episode, but you know what? We're going to keep it moving, and we are going to enjoy the Super Bowl tonight. So everybody, have fun with it. Be safe. Enjoy your night. And thank you for tuning in to the Green and White Report on WDBM East Lansing.